Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi out here, Wow Wednesday, and today we're wowing about Masai Ujiri being in town for TIFF for a movie called Origin, the story of Basketball Africa League. And I think that's awesome. Once again, Ujiri is a champion for promoting the Basketball Africa League, the BAL. He helped establish it. It helped get it going. He's helping in so many ways with infrastructure, with buildings, and encouraging more teams to start to stir up and develop over there. And the movie's probably really interesting. It's probably all about how there was nothing there, and then all of a sudden, boom! There's a league going, and how much it's driving up, dreams, how much it's driving up economics or that region through basketball. I mean, that's a big part of the story with Basketball Africa League is that Masai Ujiri wants to give more economics to that continent as far as a system of sport that can derive, uh, money in certain ways. He wants to build these buildings and these teams so that there's, some sort of industry over there, basketball industry, and that's awesome. It's cool that Ujiri's back here. He does live in Toronto. It's not weird that he's in town. It's not like he's not allowed to be in Canada. He's Canadian, and he does his primary residence is here in Toronto still, even if Ed Roger III was two-finger salute for Ed Roger III, letting Masai go for no good reason at all, you know. But at least he didn't try and replace him after all, and he just let Bobby be in charge, which is really, really good. But yeah, I want to focus on Masai today. There was something that happened yesterday with MLSE that in some ways I don't know how to cover it exactly. I really don't. It was kind of a sign of things to come, I guess. Whenever Keith Pelly is present, I kind of like throw up a little bit. And I know why they did what they did yesterday. And it's kind of funny why they're doing it. I'm also, when we can see the color blue more and more around the Raptors, that means they're watering down the Raptors brand. They're using the Raptors' extremely good platform, popularity. The Raptors were created to get to this point by Masai. Masai made the Raptors extremely, extremely powerful brand around the world where there's billions of Raptors fans. There's just a lot of people love the Raptors, not just people in Canada, and the Raptors have enjoyed a very strong fan base across the whole entire country of Canada. And well, some people want a piece of that. Some people want to try and get involved in that and use that energy to help other things. And the thing they're trying to help is football and Buffalo Bills. Yeah. The Bills, man, and this is such a sellout move by MLSE. Y'all own the Argos. Y'all own the Argos, MLSE. And now you've made a partnership, a strategic partnership with the Bills to try and encourage Ontario and Toronto and Canada to be more involved in American football. And you want, I don't know what this is exactly, totally. Some of it is, I piecing some of it out and I can understand it very simply. The Buffalo Bills share a state with the Giants and the Jets, and they want more of a territory of influence. And they have had a territory of influence over Ontario for a long time already. As they call it, they're very proud of their Ontario Bills Mafia and stuff like that. But now there's an official agreement between MLSE and the Bills. This is something like Ed Rogers trying to get all the Thanos stones. And, he needed NFL one. Well, he's going to get the Bills to be associated like partnership wise with the Raptors, the Blue Jays, the Leafs, and the Argos and TFC. Everything basically except for the tempo. The tempo will be the only thing that isn't under any kind of Rogers control, which is fantastic. This would be nice to have a sports alternative just in case things go sour in certain ways. But yeah, they're using the Raptors platform. They're using the Raptors reach. They're using the Raptors popularity to try and help the Buffalo Bills right now. It's kind of pathetic and sad, honestly, guys. When I looked at the comment sections, first of all, they didn't do this to the Leafs page. They didn't do this to the Jays page. No, they only did this the Raptors page yesterday. They had the Raptors page get taken over by American football, NFL, and Buffalo Bills. And I'm like, what is that about, man? What is that about? The Bills are doing that bad. The Bills are doing that bad. They're scared. Oh, we need the Raptors to help us out by getting more popularity because the Raptors are really popular. The Raptors are a brand built by Masai Ujiri that are absolutely fantastically popular. And there's a certain reason why, because they're authentic kind of team to root for. The Raptors are authentic kind of thing. But at this point, I don't know if it is anymore. I can see the signs. You're going to mix us up with that. You also tiered things yesterday. You're trying to tier football over basketball. That's what Keith Pelly was out there. He came out there and he said this: I love football. I've loved football since I was a little kid. And they talked about football this, football that. Doug Flutie was there. They had the owner of the Buffalo Bills behind there. She was standing there. They had the guy running the Bills. They had the father of their wide receiver, Josh Palmer, that was there, who happens to be a deputy politician in Ontario or something like that. And then they brought out Pinball Clemens, and he's like, I love football. He's crazy. I love you, Pinball, but you're crazy, man. You're crazy, bro. But yeah, and then they paraded out Vince and Tracy and Josie Altador of TFC. And while they put this crap all over the Raptors social media, they did a special press conference, and it's the Raptors fans is seeing this shit coming through. And we're like, what is this? Well, it's Keith Pelly, MLSE, trying to integrate all sports to be consolidated together. And they're announcing that the Buffalo Bills would be a part of the consolidation with the Leafs, the Blue Jays, the Raptors, TFC, and the Argos. How do the Argos feel about this? The Argos are pissed. This is not the right time to do this kind of shit, MLSE. You're not reading the room right. This has tried to be done before with the Bills and a partnership in Ontario, and it never worked. Y'all try to do games over here, and people rejected it. People up here are very much elbows up right now, Keith Pelly, you dumbass. You should read the room. Nobody fucking wants this. If you're a Bills fan already, that's great. Go ahead and still be a Bills fan here in Ontario. But you're not going to get the gains y'all think. Seriously, y'all are not going to get the gains you think. There's a lot of very hardline traditional CFL fans that are putting their elbows up and saying, fuck the Bills. We're the Argos. We are standing for Canadian Football League. Fuck the NFL. The NFL wants to come into Ontario and try and get more money off of Canadians. Well, we're going to tell you a big F you and reject it, just like we did the time before. Why the fuck would it be any different right now in Trump's world, NFL, you dumbasses? In some ways, y'all's corporate meetings and your ideas, this will be a great idea. We're going to consolidate the Bills with MLSE. This will be a fantastic idea. Y'all don't fucking think about this right, do you? Y'all don't practically think about things correctly. To think that this is going to be a success, you're just going to fall flat on its fucking face. The people are for the boatmen. They're not for the Bills in certain ways over here. Sure, the NFL fans will be like, yeah, Bills are my team. But a lot of people that live in Ontario are not Bills fans if they're NFL fans. And y'all just magically thinking, we're going to make Ontario, Southern Ontario, a whole Bills level. In some ways, it already is. But you doing this may drive more people away than actually encouraging them. I'm not going to go out and start watching NFL games just because Keith Pelly told me yesterday to. Fuck that. I hate football in some ways. Another reason why they're doing this shit is because they can see football. American football is in trouble. American football is in trouble. This is the same thing as racists. Racists are in trouble. American football is in trouble. Fascism is in trouble because their time's going to come up and they're going to get their ass handed to them soon. And American football is a dangerous sport of CTE, and it is not a good sport to encourage young people to play. And they're scared of that. The pipelines for football players coming in the NFL is drying up to a degree because a lot of parents don't want their kids to go and get CTE injuries. That's on the download part of this shit, is that they don't have enough people coming into football to play it because nobody wants to play that jackass sport anymore because it hurts people and it damages them in the long run. And the sport don't take care of them afterwards. Junior Seau. So I just say this. The Bills see the Raptors and the Team Canada getting a huge wealth of talent from Ontario right now, SGA, Nickel, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, all these young Canadians playing basketball all of a sudden. They're like, wow, we need more of these young Canadians to play football. So we're going to come up and we're going to make an initiative to get kids to play football. We want you to play football, kids, so you can have head injuries and have a shitty later life. And just because we want to be entertained and make a lot of money off of watching you and putting you on TV. Yeah, we don't care about you, actually. We just want to fucking make money off you. And so you can get concussions and have a shitty rest of your life after your playing career with depression and sadness because your head got knocked all kinds of crazy ways in American football. Seriously, that sport is dying. That sport is dying. It's not a healthy sport to play. And in some ways, they're saying, oh, we dream of a day when kids in Southern Ontario dream of playing for the Bills and want to come up and play for the Bills. This is not how this works. Basketball is a growing sport. It is internationally the same. American football is the only sport that is played on this continent and nowhere else. So there's no international growth for American football. It's part of the stupid ass, stubborn, grandiose design of American football. Oh, we're better than your football. Soccer? That's not football. Nobody gives a shit about your American football around the world except y'all. There's no growth in that mindset when you isolate yourself with a sport on one country and one continent. Say, this is our sport. American football is the best in the world. You know what, motherfucker? Nobody gives a shit about it around the rest of the world. And when you don't international your sport, well, you get to dry places like this, especially when you got CTA scandals and no parent wants their kids playing that sport. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to resuscitate American football by using MLSE and the Raptors, their platform and their popularity to push some bullshit forward. That's what they're doing. They hope, they have a dream that young Canadian kids will play more football now. Put down the basketball, Johnny. We want you to be more accessible to American football because the Bills need a pipeline of talent because they don't got nothing going. This is what is going on with this shit. It was such horse shit, guys, yesterday. And the sad thing was that Raptors went to this shit. I was sad to see that, man. They paraded. This is who was there. Jamal Shed, Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, David Roddy, Olivier Sarr, Oshai Abaji. These guys all came to this ceremony yesterday where Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady spoke. That's probably what they sold them on. They probably sold them on that. They said, guys, Vince Carter is going to be at this speaking. You guys, we want to go? If you're in town working out at OVO Center and you're here already, you guys want to go this thing at BMO? It's just over there from OVO and sit down. Yeah, go on, sit there. We saw him in the beginning of the press conference. Come in and sit down. And there was no acknowledgement of the Raptors after that, the whole entire thing. This thing was not about basketball. This was using basketball's platform to try and push football. They did not mention the Raptors hardly at all, but they put it all over the Raptors channel. They did not really talk about basketball in any kind of way. They ignored it on purpose to promote football. So they're using the Raptors' reach, the Raptors' millions of worldwide fans to try and promote the Buffalo Bills and American football. What the fuck is that, Keith Pelly, with your bullshit? What the fuck is that, Ed Rogers, with your bullshit? You know what? This thing's going to flop so big in your face. You're going to see it, and you're going to be like, damn, we wish we had Masai still, because he wouldn't have let y'all do what you did yesterday. That's one thing I would say right now. That was one of the things I've seen the first time since the post-Masai era started, that this shit would not have happened if Masai Ujiri was around. Because in some ways, the thing he did for the Raptors was he delineated and differentiated this brand to make it what it was. He made this cool. He made this cool. He made this cool. Y'all didn't make this cool. No. Masai Ujiri made the Raptors cool. And y'all are trying to use all that hard work, that unique branding, that unique place where it sits aside, just put them in commonly in a six-pack of sports fun. That's what you're fucking doing now? You're going to take all the unique branding of the Raptors, and you're going to integrate it with the Leafs, the Blue Jays, the TFC, the Bills, the Argos. Everybody's getting integrated together. So it's going to be one cheap mess of promotion and MLSE of all the sports together. This bullshit. They're going to cut costs, and they're going to take away the specifics for the Raptors going forward. Will there be specific advertising for the Raptors at this point? Or you're just going to conglomerate all of them to fucking together, Keith Pelly, with your sorry ass cost-cutting move ideas. Yeah, you're going to take a unique brand called the Toronto Raptors and you're going to run the valuation into the fucking ground is what you're going to do. You're going to take a team that's worth 2 times your hockey team and you're going to run it into the ground, partly because you don't like the idea that the basketball team is worth more than the Maple Leafs. Did you make the Maple Leafs come and sit in the front row for your Buffalo bullshit yesterday? No, you did not. No, you did not. You said, nah, the Leafs aren't involved in today. You even made a joke about them not winning since 67. And you sat up there with a hot butter popcorn ring on your finger like you're a fucking mafioso motherfucking piece of shit, Keith Pelly, and that Grey Cup ring. That was not a Raptors championship ring, y'all. Just so y'all know, Keith Pelly was not wearing a Toronto Raptors 2019 championship ring yesterday. He was wearing a Grey Cup ring for the Toronto Argonauts is what he was wearing yesterday. Yeah, y'all, I get it. Y'all have a big heart-on for football right now, Keith Pelly. And you're trying to hold a little hand out to the Buffalo Bills to help their ass out. But saying, you know what? We have a great market share here in Toronto with the Raptors. It's the whole country. Hey, can you help us out? We're the Bills. We want the whole country of Canada to root for us. All right, let me see what I can do. Did you have a good weekend? You know, this bullshit. This bullshit here. They got to use the Raptors to prop up the Bills. They got to use basketball to prop up American football. It's sad. And it's funny, man. They left Vince Carter out to dry. Vince Carter was the only one who had to speak. Tracy was like, I ain't speaking. Josie Altidore is like, Mariah Ambrose is like, go ahead, Josie. And he's like, no, look at your notes, Mariah. No, you're going to make me talk. I don't want to talk on this mic. Vince did all the talking for the 3 legends that were involved, the ownership group. You know what? In some ways, Tracy and Vince owning the Bills, when that shit happened, that shit was by design for this whole thing that happened yesterday. I thought it was just kind of something cool. Oh, Vince and Tracy have an interest in NFL ownership. So they part owners of the Bills. Well, that's interesting. Now, this is all by design since then. Oh, we're going to use these Raptor legends to be the gateway door to get Raptors fans to be more into the Bills. That's what this shit is. It's not that Tracy and Vince wanted to do this. They were encouraged to do this by the MLSE to be a gateway drug into getting the kids hooked on the NFL. That's what this is. This shit was all figured out. As soon as we heard Tracy and Vince were part owners of the Bills earlier this year, that was the first start of this bullshit. Seriously. So they will water down the brand of the Toronto Raptors to try and help the Buffalo Bills in the NFL. How do Canadians feel about this? They're telling you, fuck you, Keith Pelly. That's what it is. You go look at the comment sections of all your bullshit you posted yesterday. You did a live stream yesterday on the Raptors official channel on YouTube. You did a live stream on, and you fool people. You're like, what is this? What is this blue screen with the Raptors logo? Oh, there's a press conference. What is this bullshit? Yeah, what had nothing to do with the Raptors. Let's just put it that way. Had not a damn thing to do with the Raptors, but they used the Raptors platform and their audience and their millions and millions of followers to get their message out. It's kind of like when you follow something and they change their branding all of a sudden and they add something else in there. And like, what the fuck is this with this all of a sudden? This wasn't like this yesterday. This is weird. So I expect more of this kind of cockamamie bullshit. I really do. I in some defiance, that's why I didn't make this the topic for today, the bullshit that happened at BMO Field yesterday, because in some ways I'm not going to promote this shit for you, Keith Pelly and MLSC. I'm not going to promote the Bills at all on this channel. In fact, I'm going to say what I said today, and if you guys continue to put them in my face, well, I'm just going to disregard it, just like I disregard a lot of things on TV these days. I'm just going to disregard it. I have tunnel vision. I watch the Raptors. I cover the Raptors. I ain't fucking going to cover the Bills because of this shit. I'm not going to talk about your bullshit cross-promoting and shit like that. No, I'm not going to shine a light on this shit. I'm not going to make a fucking stream subject. Oh, Keith Pelly and them are wanting me to talk about the Bills. I mean, I'm talking about it because this shit happened yesterday, and it needs to be talked about and understood and told exactly what it is. Keith Pelly, you try and get your market research. Come watch the Raptors Freak. See how we feel. See how we feel, motherfucker. Fuck you, Keith Pelly. This morning. Yeah, you made right by hiring Bobby, But now we've got to see your bullshit cross promoting with the Buffalo Bills and all this. No offense to Bills fans that are in this chat. No offense. In some ways, I have no problem with Raptors fans being Bills fans. That's not the issue here. This is about them using the Raptors built up brand by Masai Ujiri for other things. And don't get it wrong, they tiered us below football yesterday. Football is more important than basketball, is what Keith Pelly and MLC said yesterday. They didn't even acknowledge the Raptors players that were sitting there. In some ways, they were snubbing the Raptors by him coming there and them being there. I hope that they didn't think that, though. I bet you they didn't. Jamal Shed loves football. He's got his friend is playing in the NFL in Denver. These guys have friends that play in the NFL. They have football friends. So they don't mind sitting there listening to Doug Flutie talk and other people around football and stuff. They didn't mind this. They're just working out, and they're young guys. But I'll tell you who had a fucking problem with yesterday. Scotty Barnes. Yeah. If I was Scotty, I'd have a problem, and Emmanuel had a problem too. Because they're promoting the Bills. And those guys are action Lamar Jackson fans and Baltimore fans. And on Sunday night, there was a game between the Ravens and the Bills. And these Bills guys were gloating about it, beating the Ravens and Lamar Jackson on Sunday night in a last-minute 1-point win. I'll tell you right now, Scotty watched that game. He loves Lamar Jackson. He loves the Ravens. He doesn't love the Bills. In some ways, it's like us associating ourselves with the Bills. This is stupid work, Keith Pelly. You're going against the franchise face of the Raptors because he hates the Bills. I'll tell you this right now. He absolutely hates the Bills. And when Emmanuel and Garrett and them went to the game last year, the Bills versus the Ravens, they were rooting for Baltimore, y'all. So, they could have done this yesterday. They could be like, Scotty, will you come down into the press conference at BMO where you have Doug Flutie and the owner of the Bills are going to be there? He probably said, fuck you. He probably said, fuck you. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm with Lamar Jackson. Fuck the Bills. And I'm with Scotty on this. Fuck the Bills. I'm more of a Ravens fan now today than I was yesterday. I'm going with Emmanuel and Scotty. I'm a real one, Scott. I'm going to come with you guys. Fuck the Bills Mafia. Fuck the Bills. I'm a Ravens fan now more than ever because Keith Pelly's a Bills fan. He's trying to shove it down my fucking face. So, yeah, I'll tell you who doesn't like this. Thank God those guys didn't show up. Scotty would never show up for some bullshit ass thing like that and be there like that. RJ, nah, he's not there. Jakob's not there. All the important Raptors, the main Raptors, not all the important. There were those important Raptors there yesterday. But most of the main Raptors were not in attendance for the sham of a fucking press conference to build up the Bills and the NFL and try and cultivate more young football players in Ontario. We want more access and more opportunity and diversity for the youth of Ontario to play football. There's bullshit like that that's going on with that fucking press conference, that stupid ass shit. You know what, Tracy and Vince, you got in my good books a bit, but you're pawns. You guys are fucking pawns. If I thought that you got ownership the way I thought you did up until yesterday, that it was just a smart entrepreneurial business move. They want to be owners of in the NFL for the Bills. No, this was a totally fucking set up and the bullshit and the opportunity they came to them. They're like, maybe they don't get opportunities very often handing out ownership deeds to players, especially players from other sports. And Vince heard it. He's like, you serious, Ed Rogers? I could have a part ownership in the Bills. I'll do it. That's the way they lured him in, just to be a gateway person between Raptors Nation and wanting us to, this is what they're doing, man. They're trying to get us as consumers to jump to a new product by using the platform. That's what this is. And first of all, you dumbasses, don't you know elbows up? Elbows up. People do not want American products up here right now. We are boycotting America. And a lot of the football fans are saying, I've stopped watching the NFL this year, and I've been straight up CFL because I'm Canadian and I'm proud of my country. And fuck the American corporate NFL trying to fucking come up here and take more money from us. So there's a lot of that sentiment coming from football fans on the north of the border saying, fuck the NFL, CFL all the way. Why don't you promote the Argonauts like this instead? Fucking Keith Pelly, you piece of shit. Why are you bringing in the Bills and hurting the Argos brand? Why are you hurting the Argos brand? And why are you delineating the Raptors below all the football And why are you, trying to second class people in MLSE on teams that are already established and doing good, like the Argos and like the Raptors? Was this bullshit all over the Blue Jays social media yesterday? It was when Doug Flutie went to the game, but that's it. They didn't put the press conference on BlueJays.com. Did they put it on MapleLeafs.com? No, they did not fucking do that either. So in some ways, that tells you that those sports have no fucking help to grow the fucking Buffalo Bills. If they were, they would have had the Leafs all down there. They would have had the fucking Blue Jays down there. And they would have said, oh, these guys are promoting the Bills. And then they'd be like, no, but they didn't do that. They used the Raptors. They used the Raptors. Great, huge nation of so many fans around the world and so much popularity, enthusiasm. People love the fucking Raptors. They love the Raptors. And they're trying to use that energy and shape it the way they want to and direct it towards the Buffalo Bills. Y'all, are you going to go watch Buffalo Bills games and get all into the Bills just because of Keith Pelly yesterday telling you he loves football? Are y'all going to do that tomorrow? Are you going to watch the Bills this weekend? Oh, I'm sorry, watching the Bills because MLSE told me to. No, you're not. No, you are not. And a lot of the people that watch the sports, that watch them, they're not going to change either. In fact, we're probably going to knuckle down even harder on watching the Argos and supporting the Argos more because of this bullshit, Keith Pelly. See, this is the thing. At a certain point, the corporate class, the oligarchs, the billionaires, these idiots are so out of touch with reality and they don't understand where the people are. And this may be a very harmless way of showing this. There's a lot of very harmful ways they're out of touch. But this is a very harmless way in some way. Okay, you guys want us to get into the NFL and football more? Okay, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, all right. Why did I watch this? Is what people were saying yesterday. Why the fuck did I just watch this bullshit about the Bills and the NFL as a commercial on the Raptors channel? Why? Why did I watch this? What the fuck was this pile of shit? Yeah. That's what I was thinking afterwards. I was, okay, this is what they mean when they want to consolidate and cheap out and save money. They're going to use the Raptors' huge platform to promote other things. I wouldn't be surprised if they start trying to promote the Blue Jays and the Leafs through the Raptors more and more. Now, when we watch Leafs broadcasts, when we watch Jays broadcasts, are y'all going to be putting the Raptors on the same kind of blast to give us the same kind of no, you're not. No, you're not. You won't. You will not. The hockey fans will be saying, why are you putting Raptor stuff on here? This is hockey only. They may run into those kind of walls if they start doing this integration more and more and having Raptors with Leafs and Leafs with Jays and Jays with this. The fans of the other teams, not just ours, we're saying it already for us. We're like, fucking keep it separated, motherfucker. You know, the brand of the Raptors is worth more standing alone than fucking consolidating with all the rest of the MLSE teams. You don't understand that, you dumbasses. You're out of touch. You know, in some ways, the Leafs and the Blue Jays will drag the Raptors down is what's going to fucking happen. And honestly, are you doing the same kind of promotion for our team, the Raptors, on the Leaf stuff and on the Blue Jay stuff? No, you won't. This is all going to be part of this bullshit in the post-Masai era. Masai's not there to protect our brand and our image and our likeness like he was doing for 12 years. And now we're going to see this kind of bullshit get decided at higher ups. If Masai was around still, maybe this is part of the reason why they want to get rid of him, is they know that he would not allow them to do this. He would not allow this shit to happen, what happened yesterday. Masai would not allow this kind of bullshit. He'd be like, what do the Bills have to do with the Raptors, man? What do they have to do with the Raptors, Keith? Like, this is bullshit. I work hard to make this team what it is today with our reach and how we are attractive to sports fans. You're going to use our platform to help the Bills? Like, what the fuck is this, Keith? I worked hard on this. You're going to water it down and you're going to hurt the uniqueness that I've built in this brand with this. You don't understand that. That's why we got to go forward with our eyes wide open and assess shit like yesterday, like I have. It's like, look, I can see this bullshit. I see right through it. You're lessening Raptors and basketball. You're putting on blast the Bills and football. And who knows when you're going to come around and differentiate and do this for hockey against the Raptors? Who knows when you're going to come around and differentiate between the Blue Jays and the Raptors? No offense to Blue Jays. I love them. I want them to go far. I'm just saying. This is the bullshit of consolidation. This is the bullshit of monopolization. This is the bullshit of when there's one person in charge of everything. They try to do crazy-ass cross-promoting shit like this. He can't own the NFL team outright, but he'll partner with them and get them under the whole umbrella with them. Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit, man. Seriously. All right, let me keep going. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. this morning. I had to go off a little bit on this, the first half hour of the show. It is about Masai. I love Masai. I love TIFF. I love that they did this documentary and that Masai's back in town and that Masai can call up Barack Obama like that. And Barack is there. I love all that about it. Masai, we love you. I will put you on blast every single day. All praise to Masai Ujiri, the architect of the Raptors brand and getting it to where it is. And well, in the post-Masai era, let's see how they crash and burn the fucking brand with their bullshit. And you know what, Ed Rogers, you don't like making money, obviously, because, you know, you had a badass thing called the Raptors that you could drive and you could make a whole bunch of money easy, but you can run that brand in the ground with this kind of cross-promoting and this bullshit. It's the part of the reason why the Raptors are so popular is they're alternative to those other teams. If you don't want to lose all the time, don't watch the Leafs. Watch the Raptors because the Raptors have a better chance to win than the Leafs quite often. So it's like all this bullshit, man. This is such bullshit. Trevor saying respect is the most important element of your personality. It's like an investment. Whatever you give to others, it will return to you with profit. What comes around goes around. Yeah. You know, respect is good. You need to respect other people. You know, you don't necessarily need to respect authority because authority, if it's unjust and the laws that they make and the ways that they're doing, no, you need to fight the power. No, fuck that. Respect nature. Respect, the vulnerable. Respect the people that need respecting, but don't respect the people that demand your respect when they don't worthy of respect. And the president guy right now, he's not a president. The con artist of the White House is somebody you should not respect the authority of and resist. You should resist him. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying WNBA playoffs begin Sunday. 3-game series for the championship 7-game series. Okay, so 3-game series in the earlier rounds and then a 7-game series in the championship round. WNBA playoffs coming very, very soon. And in fact, let's go look at our WNBA league right now. Kaz is still putting it on the gas. He's at 1216. This is crazy. He has 1,216 points, and I'm at 950. I'm not catching him. There's tonight and tomorrow, and that's it. I got 2 nights, and that's it. I'm not catching him. Meredith's going to win third place. He's up by almost 200. Cool Cat is very much in a fight still with JP, and he is trying. I can tell. JP may not have been playing most of the year, but he's playing right now, it seems like. Fiercey is going to beat Logical for sure. And James is going to win this week against Edmond, the way it looks like right now. The referee for the 1 game today, Atlanta Dream at Connecticut Sun. Crew chief number 5, Tierra Cruz. Referee number 35, Catherine Chang. And umpire number 30, Paul Toomey. And that's the only WNBA game tonight. That's your ref report for today. Is the 1 game Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta game. Atlanta, Connecticut. That's right. Trevor's saying Masai looks very happy. I don't know if you're joking. Look, the things with Masai, man, I only want peace and happiness and love for him in his heart and his life and just the good things. It's like in some ways it's wrong, but you know what? It's not totally wrong because we knew this was coming. And in some ways it's like, yeah, the action of Ed Rogers is wrong, but Masai's not going to take it as a victim. Masai's not going to take it like he is powerless in this. In some ways, it's just like, yeah, I understand this. I've been dismissed wrongfully, to be honest, in my opinion. And you know what? Hold his head high. Go forward in the next chapter. The UN wants him. People all over the place want him. All NBA teams are dying for him, but they will not get him. Watch. And, listen, I'm not ever going to wish anything but happiness and joy for Masai Ujiri, Trevor. That's the only thing I got for him. That's right. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. Great words of wisdom, Trevor J. Getting and giving respect. Yeah. Yes, it's tough sometimes. In some ways, you may think some people deserve your respect, but they really don't. And you give it them to it, and then you get disrespect, and you're like, all right, why did I even respect this person in the first place? It's kind of what it is sometimes. Yeah, Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex, Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Kaz. Congratulations. This guy keeps rolling, man. Keep on trucking, Trucker. That's right. Seymour's here. Just got off the horn with my cousin in Chicago. We was talking about Giddy getting 100 mil for laugh out loud. He likes it. Don't. And prayers, man. Them thugs want to fight the National Guard. Trump is a problem. Okay, let's see. Man, who you calling thugs, first of all? Those are the people that are fighting the National Guard. That's the police, honestly. Seymour, we got to talk about this truthfully here. There's Giddy did get a contract yesterday with the Bulls. It's 4 years for 100 million. So he's making 25 million a year. I think that he wanted 30, and maybe that was the sticking point, but he's going to have to settle for 25. This is the new NBA, And you know what? You're not Scotty Barnes, I guess. You're not Cade Cunningham. And well, Josh Giddey, from your rookie class, you got traded by Oklahoma City and missed a championship. And well, you're going to miss out on money too, because getting traded during your rookie contract is not a good thing. And a lot of rookies should realize that. Smart ones will realize that. You want to optimize your earnings and make the most money. You cannot be in a bad place and be like, oh, I don't want to be here, because you'll screw up your earning potential and the amounts. So, Josh Giddey getting traded for Alex Caruso was disastrous. And that's part of the reason why he's got a $100 million contract instead of a $300 million contract like Scotty Barnes does. So that's it. All right. Yeah. The whole thing in Chicago, don't fall for the bullshit. The media is not going to tell you the right things. Nobody that's fighting the National Guard is a thug. They're ordinary citizens. Listen, Chicago's a tough city. And if they want to bring it, they're going to get it when they come there, the National Guard. But already the mayor and the police are against the National Guard too. So it's not like it's the National Guard against the people. The Chicago police are going to be actively defending the people of Chicago against Trump's illegal invasion of the National Guard into the city of Chicago. And it's absolutely just him trying to show power and scare people. We got to understand, when totalitarian dictators flex their muscle, there's weak men behind that. And we cannot be intimidated or fearful. We've got to fucking stand up to them, because that's the only way that they fucking go away. This is just like a bully in school. The bully's going to keep coming at you if you don't stand up to them. So we're going to have to do this. And there are going to be grannies out there. There are going to be little kids. There are going to be people of all walks of life that are out there against the National Guard. And well, you want to show ugliness in the way you treat with that, all that? Nah. Listen, a lot of the people that are in the National Guard are not wholeheartedly doing this shit either. They understand their duty is to protect the people of the United States, not to police them, not to come into their city and threaten them and intimidate them. No, they know that's not the drill. So half the time, these National Guard guys are going in like they did in LA already and Washington, D.C. They're like standing around and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. They just told us to be here. So he's wasting a shit ton of money deploying these troops. It costs more to deploy these troops than to house all the homeless in these cities. This fucking guy is not a good leader. He's only doing this out of his ego, and he's trying to intimidate. So if they send the National Guard to Chicago, which they probably will, they're going to find a very strong resistance from tough people that are badasses that I have a lot of respect for. Chicago, you're a badass city. Show them exactly why. If that motherfucker wants to roll his little orange militia in, you show them. Exactly. I mean, they lined up the salt trucks already. They put them up in a row as a barrier to stop them. And the mayor is fully saying, like, you guys come here. We're not going to, allow this. And the police department's on my side. Their police department's on the side of Chicago, the people. And the National Guard will be the outside invading force that has nothing to do with anything that is going on here. We don't need you to come here. Nobody asked you to come here. The only reason why you're coming here is because there's a black mayor, and this is a Democratic sanctuary city where immigrants are able to hide and stay where they need to, they're not getting persecuted there. And that's part of the reason why they want to come in there. This is the ICE people want to come in there and start taking the immigrants out of Chicago. Whereas the mayor of Chicago and this Chicago city is a sanctuary city. So let's not get it twisted. That's half the reason why these assholes are going into these cities. It's not because of out of control crime. It's not because of these cities need this in any kind of way. It's totalitarian power grabs by that fuckface, that piece of shit, Drumpf, Krasnov. That's what this shit is right there. The fucking best friend of Jeffrey Epstein who loves fucking 13-year-old girls. That's what this is about, is this little small dick motherfucker trying to be big is what it is right here. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's not going to be a problem for the people of Chicago. It's going to be a problem for the National Guard because they're going to be in the middle of something that they did not ask to be in the middle of. And a lot of them on the down low are not cool with Trump's orders. And in some ways, they are helping resist. In some ways, it's like, look, they told me to come and do this to you. But you know what? I don't give a shit. You know what? Go ahead and sit there and do that. You know what? I don't give a shit. I don't think what we're doing is right as the National Guard. So you know what? I'm not going to wholeheartedly do this. You guys go ahead and do something. Some of those fascist little shitheads, bootlickers, will fully get into that mode and be little assholes for things in Chicago. But a lot of them are not totally with this. And they're supposed to be the guys that are supposed to enforce this. No, it ain't going to happen. Seymour saying Deion Sanders' son, Shadur, has a beef with the press secretary of the United States, that blonde lady who always talking smirky with people. That's awesome. Caroline Levitt. Yeah, Levitt or whatever her name. Caroline Karen. Yeah, I mean, listen, she did a Fox News piece of crap. like those blonde bimbots, those Stepford wives that Rupert Murdoch had on his channel forever, program this blonde into this to say this. They all share the same personality, and they have to set the same talking points. They don't think for themselves. They're all the same. They're little programmable little blonde bimbots. And well, one of them is now the press secretary of the United States. They should have never been in that position. They should have never been in that position. Pam Bondi, all this bullshit, man. Yeah, I love that. Go on, Shadur. I'm all about the Sanders. You know, Dion was a Florida State Seminole like Scotty Barnes and myself. And Dion, in some ways, is a storied legend from Tallahassee. And you know what? His son, you know what? They've taken a lot of crap. They're outspoken young black men. And in some ways, people look at them and say, why are you like this? Why do you think you can do this and that? No, they're bucking the trends. And in some ways, power to the Sanders is what I'm saying right there. Power to the Sanders. That's what pop, fam. That's right. Rabbit Freaks, happy hump day. Get your hump on, lol. All right, Humpty Dance. All right. In the Bird King bathroom. Is that what you're talking about, Seymour, there? Fiercely saying, I'm looking at some comments under those Raptors posts about the Bills, and people are confused, asking all sorts of questions. They're like, why is this on the Raptors? And on the Argos pages, which is really interesting what the people are saying there, go to the Argos page and see what they said about all that bullshit yesterday. They're going to be like, they're like, we don't want this. Fuck this shit. You know, a lot of them are like anti-Bills now. A lot of them are saying, yeah, I'm not going to watch the Bills just because y'all told us to. We're Argos fans. And in some ways, why don't you invest the promotion and the money into the Argos and making them more sound? Aren't the Argos playing right now? They're on their way to a playoffs or something like that right now. You wouldn't even know that because MLSE ain't even promoting them, but they're promoting the NFL and the Buffalo Bills instead. Like, what the fuck is that? You should be promoting the CFL and the Argos. You fucking idiot, Keith Pelly. What are you trying to do to the CFL, bro? Argos forever. Boatmen forever. That's the team you need to promote. Fuck the Bills. Why'd you even invite them across the lake? Seriously. Why'd you even do that? It's like, oh, they want that. Yeah, they need help. They want more of a bigger fan base. They want more of an area to draw talent from, to dream of being a Buffalo Bill. They can't wait for Canadians to dream of becoming a Buffalo Bill and getting concussions for that team. It's so stupid. It's immoral in some ways, guys. Seriously, football is not a good sport to play. Seriously, it is not a good sport. If you have a kid, don't let your kid play football. Seriously, because they will get concussions and they will have shit affect them later on in life. Some people say, no, Lex, you can't say that. Football's safe sport. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. It is not a safe sport, especially if you play at lineman. If you're one of those linemen, defensive or offensive, you have fucking concussion problems for the rest of your life. That's just the way it is. You're inevitably going to get a concussion if you play in the NFL, and you will probably, if you get multiple concussions, you'll probably have trouble recognizing yourself in the mirror around 50. Yeah. Yeah, that's the shit. They don't want to tell you. It's like, yeah, you'll be a cash cow. You'll make millions. You'll be famous. But the price you pay, and all these guys who don't make the millions and don't get famous, they still get the attributes of the CTE. They still get all that shit. So it's like, look, they can tell American football is not, it's very popular in North America, but it's not that popular around the world. People don't give a shit about the Packers and the Cowboys in Europe. People don't give a shit about them in Asia. The basketball, the NBA, they do. They care about the NBA. They care about the Raptors in those places, but they don't give a shit about American football. That's why their business model of being so isolationist and exceptionalist was failed right from the start. The NFL was failed from the beginning when they said, this is American sport, American football, and reject everything else around the world. And this is just it. Well, there's no growth globally and internationally when you set up your teams and your sports like that. And this is where you get to. Now you're begging and crying Canada to fucking follow the Buffalo Bills because you need more international revenue. It's fucked up, man. It's so stupid, man. It's their own fucking faults, man. It's their own fucking fault. That's right. Hey, Seymour. Eye candy. Shaq Lindsay's saying is that they're doing these because Buffalo, specifically the Niagara region, is suffering with the lack of Canadian. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, we're not coming across the border. If this is some sort of weird Trojan horse to get the Canadians to start coming over the border to go to Bills games, we're not coming. We're not. Nobody's coming over the border. Fucking Trump did this shit. Nobody's coming across the border. In some ways, I'd love to go see my family in Atlanta, but I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not coming across the border anytime soon because I am Canadian and I am not fucking supporting a country while that fuckface is in the White House. No, I'm not. And a lot of us are like that right now. And y'all are feeling it. You're feeling that pain? Well, that's your leader. Get out in the streets and resist and kick his ass out as soon as possible. If you're worried about your money, border towns, because none of the Canadians are jumping over the border anymore, spending any money at your restaurant, shit like that, blame your president. Go fucking resist him and go after him. We're not coming across. We're not going to the Bills games this year. Fuck that. Nobody's going across the border. Fuck you, United States. Fuck you, Donald Trump. So, yeah, this underhanded kind of bullshit way to try and entice people to come. No, we're not coming. We're not coming. And I don't give a shit if the Niagara region is hurting. That is the fault of Donald Trump. And you people don't get mad at us. We're doing what we do because they bowed up and now we're elbows up. And now we're like, yeah, you want it like this? Remember, this is the thing. Some of us will not come back now for the rest of our lives. This is how precarious and tenuous is that we are fucking not trusting the United States. We do not dictator fascist piece of shit, and y'all need to fucking reject his ass and get out of there. Then maybe we can start healing and we can start getting more to a point where we might start returning to your country. But right now it's not happening. They have out the wazoo record numbers of people going to Banff this year. Canada has seen amazing tourism from around the world and the United States has not. Our economy has boomed because of this. They're trying to say, oh, Canada's in the dump. My cousin was saying this shit on Sunday. He's totally fucking wrong. He often is. Oh, Canada's economy is so bad. It's going in the future. We're going to be in trouble and all this stuff. That's bullshit. Whoever's saying that shit is full of shit because Canada's getting stronger under Carney and doing more here for ourselves and rejecting the United States. That's why you don't buy McDonald's. That's why you don't buy Starbucks. That's why you don't buy Coca-Cola. That's why you don't buy any American brands right now. And you do not buy the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Because we're proud of Canada. And we're standing proud for Canada, and we're saying, fuck you in the United States. We're not buying your products. So whatever Keith Pelly's trying to do, you should watch football. I love football. I grew up loving football. We don't give a shit what you love, Keith Pelly. We love the Raptors. We love the Argos. We love Canada. So fuck you, Keith Pelly. Once again, with your convoluted scheme, this is probably how he got the job. He's like, and I have this idea. We could consolidate all the Toronto sports teams with Buffalo, and we can make this whole kind of media thing this coming up. Yeah. Oh, I like that. Keith, does this mean I get to save more money? Yes, King Rogers. Let me lick your toes. Yes, King Rogers. Yes, you can have a dominion that includes the NFL because we're going to partnership with the fucking Bills. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Fiercely saying, for sure, it's a business decision. Lex, we don't have the full picture of who it benefits yet, but the truth will come to light. No, we know who it benefits. There's nothing shady about this in some ways. They're trying to benefit the NFL and Bills. This is what they're trying to benefit. They're trying to benefit American company, American team by getting Canadians to follow it. How's that sound, Canadians? Y'all really feel like getting more into the NFL and crossing the border and going to Bills games more? No, you don't. No, you don't. If you were going, you may not be going now because of the election last year and the bullshit, the stealing of the election, the satellite direction from Elon, the lasers in the sky that he bragged about that fixed the election for Trump and got us in this mess of 8 months of fucking Project 2025. Who the fuck wants to go to the United States right now, Keith Pelly? Who the fuck wants to go to the United States right now, you dumbass? They think they can gloss over all this shit, and we have short memories. Oh, no, it's all fine. Just normal business. Come back to the United States. No, fuck that. We are for freedom. We're for democracy, and we will fucking go on strike against the United States until Donald Trump is out of power. We'll do this. We're in the long run. You got to try and make us forget with concussions and football? That's what you're trying to do. Keep that. Get out in the field, kids, so you hurt your brain, so you can be stupider, and we can control you better. You know, it's bullshit like that. It's bullshit like that. Truth and details will get exposed. That's right. No, it's pretty evident what this is. It's very clear cut. I mean, I'm calling it out plain as day today on all of it right there. That's right. Shaq Lindsay's saying they are begging for us to come back. That's right. They're begging for us to come back and go to their restaurant, go to their parks, go to their cities, and infuse the tourist money that we were infusing. Y'all didn't realize how good it was. Did you realize how important Canada's money was in the United States, Donald Trump? No, you didn't, you dumbass. You just spoke from an egotistical spot and didn't think about the ramifications of your bullshit. 51st state, my ass. Piece of shit, Donald Trump. Fuck you. Never, forever, Canada, it will be. It will be always the true north, strong and free, and a separate entity away from you, G. Fuck you, motherfucker, is what I'm saying right now. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, I agree with you, Lex. No need to mention the Bills. Complete turnoff. Bad move. Fuckface Pelly and Rogers. Yeah. 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 It's like that. It's like, all right, go ahead and utilize the platform, the very wide, popular platform that Masai built for the Raptors over 12 years, distinguishing us away from the other teams. This is part of the thing. It's like, look, there are two guys that have been in charge above Masai Ujiri while he was in charge of the Raptors. Only two guys. And that was originally Tim Lewicki and Keith Pelly. And they're the anti of each other. Tim Lewicki kept them separated. He said, this is part of the reason why the Raptors got the championship. This is part of the reason why the Raptors have been so successful under Masai, because he separated the Raptors from the Leafs very, very, very much. Said the Leafs and the Raptors are separated because they were more together and intertwined from 99 until 2012. And we were run horribly during that period of time for the most part. Rob Babcock, Richard Petty. Fuck you, Richard Petty. 2-finger salute for you. And now the success of the Raptors being breathing room away from the Leafs and being away from them, we saw a glorious era of Masai. That's the thing. When we are separated from those dysfunctional teams, the Leafs especially, we do better. Well, now Keith Pelly's the anti-Lewicki. He's pushing us back in with the Leafs. And all the dysfunction and the bullshit, a lot of their corporate overhead decision guys are going to be the same ones looking at the Raptors now. Keith Pelly specifically. And that's bullshit, man. He's like the anti-Lewicki. And I hate that. He's bizarro Lewicki. Lewicki did a great thing in giving us space to breathe so that we could be successful. Well, that space is gone now. The Raptors are going to be consolidated with this bullshit like it's some sort of super sports channel. And some bullshit right there. So be ready for it. In some ways, this is what we do, guys. As the fan nation, as Raptors nation, we reject the bullshit they send to us like yesterday. Don't click on it. If it looks like it's blue and it's Bills and it's some other team, if it's Blue Jays or Leafs or Bills, don't click on it. Less clicks on that will give them the message. This is not the content we want on our Raptors channel. If you're going to fucking come at us, it better be in black and red. And it better be about the basketball team and not about football. So y'all suss it out. When you see this shit coming in the future, suss it out and say, I'm not even going to click on that because it looks like this is just a promo for the NFL and the Bills. And they're trying to get me enticed in some way, or they just want to advertise using the Raptors platform. In some ways, give them heavy clicks when it's predominantly only Raptors content because we may be in trouble here. A lot of the content we're getting from Raptors admin since Masai left is flaky and goofy. It's cheap-ass shit like NBA Paint. It's a lot of cross-promoting and talking more about the other teams with our team, like the Leafs are getting more shine on our social media all of a sudden. And we need to protect and tell them if they want to curate what they're sending us, well, we can reject what they send if we don't think it's about the Raptors and what we want. We can fight for our brand identity within this by not clicking on the extra bullshit that they're putting out where they're in partnership with the other stuff. That's part of how we can do it. That's how we empower ourselves. So if you see the Raptors logo, but the colors are blue, you know that's that watered down shit they're trying to do with consolidation of all the sports. That's it right there. Thank you, Tim Lewicki, for the work you did and allowing us space to go get a championship. In some ways, I worry for the future because of how they're putting us all up in there in the middle next to the Leafs and the Jays and not letting us stand on our own away from them and be the glorious team that we've been in the 12 years that Masai was in charge. That's the thing I'm saying right now. And Raptors fans, you can see what I'm saying here. That's right. Seymour's saying, I'm a Giants fan. Fuck the Bills. Yeah, he's a New York Giants fan. That's part of the reason why they're trying to come up here because more New York people are going to be like Jets or Giants. And the Bills are an afterthought. They only have that one little area up there. And they need us. Trust me, they need Canada. They need Toronto. That's part of why they're there. They're going to kiss our ass. So like, we love the Bills Mafia in Canada. We love the Bills Mafia in Canada. Yeah, you do. They're important. They're essential for you guys. And you're trying to grow it. They see the growth of the Raptors. They see how much the Raptors brand has grown, how popular it is. They see the great amount of territory that Raptors can cover and being popular right across the whole entire country of Canada, being the only NBA team. And they think that they can come into Canada through South Ontario and make Canada a whole Bills nation. No, you're not going to get that. BC's Seahawks, right? BC is Seahawks. There's a lot of fans over in BC. They're going to root for Seattle. There's a lot of fans that right around the Great Lakes are going to root for the Vikings and the Packers. You know, this is not going to go down how y'all think, Buffalo. If you think you can get the footprint of the Raptors fan nation on the Bills, no, it's not going to happen. Because there's a lot of people like Seymour that are fans of other NFL teams that live in Toronto, live in Ontario, live in Calgary, live across this country. And they're not just going to all fall in line with Bills Mafia just because Keith Pelly decided, oh, we'll get you in there. He probably made false promises to the Bills too. He's like, we're going to help you with your market share and your profits. Watch, we're great. No, you're not, because we're not going with you. Even if you say you could do that for the Bills, they're going to be disappointed. They'll be like, fuck, this failed again. We keep trying to come into the Canadian market. It just does not work. We tried to play games in the Sky Dome. It just didn't work. The Bills fans were pissed because they don't want their team to leave Buffalo. The Toronto fans are saying, no, we won't root for your team until the team's fully in Toronto and a Canadian team. You know, they're in a hard place. They can't leave the history of Buffalo. In some ways, they probably should. If the NFL could jump that team over to Canada, they would. Maybe this is the groundwork laying for it. Ed has those kind of feelings that he wants to do that. Maybe he's trying to feel it out. Maybe he is going to try and steal the team from Buffalo. I've always Buffalo fans. I'll be like, I don't want y'all going over across the border, because in some ways that is maybe a way you lose your team. That is. And honestly, I don't really want the NFL in Canada. I really don't. I really don't want the NFL in Canada. I know a lot of people in Toronto would, and a lot of NFL fans are like, no, man, we want our own team here. I'm not with you. I'm not with you on this. I'm really not. So it's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. That's right. Fiercely saying, I agree with you, Lex. No need to mention the Bills. Complete turnoff. Bad move, Keith Pelly and Ed Rogers. Fuck faces. Yeah. Yeah. Two finger salute to Ed Rogers and the Buffalo Bills. There you go. Trucker Cass getting his fingers all warmed up and out. There you go. I like it. Seymour saying, I played football, Scarborough Thunder, but I dropped it in grade 9. My basketball career was taken off. There you go. There you go. Yeah, in some ways, it's like, look, you know, I know that Kareem played football too. I know some of you guys played football. And, you know, in some ways, you guys know better than me in some ways what the injuries and the toll and the toughness it takes to play that sport is, because I never got into it. I don't even think I played flag football when I was growing up. No, I played baseball. I played soccer. I played basketball. But I never actually got into football when I was younger. My brother played football in high school for a little while. He was on the football team for a hot second, but not really. He was more a swimmer. He swam for the high school team. Yeah, I don't know enough about the wear and tear, and I don't know enough about the sport and playing it. I've watched it. I do understand the sport. I know the rules. I can watch an NFL game and understand what's going on. But I never actually played it myself. So in some ways, there's a certain level of not totally knowing my opinion, but I know from CTE tests and research done by Chris Nowinski, formerly of the WWE, and things that they studied Chris Benoit's brain. They've looked at different NFL players that have killed themselves in suicide and because of depression since, like Junior Seau. You know, there's a lot of evidence that CTE is real. The NFL has tried to poo-poo it and put it away and try to not let it come out. And well, it's out and it's still that way. And they try and change the helmets. They try and change different things, but they can't change the way that the game is played. It's inherently there, the combat and the conflict and the combustion of the meeting at the line. And that's just how it is. Head-to-head impact, helmet-to-helmet impact on your neck, messing it up. Concussion. Yeah. Salute to Seymour. I like that. Top fan, Trevor J. Thank you for being here. Kareem Thomas is saying this. This is what he's saying this morning. It was a hot button topic. The more they promote the Bills, the more they are diminishing the Argos. Once you start to lose the crowd of the Argos, you will lose Canada's treasure of the CFL. Rogers wants an NFL team eventually. This is considered a pilot, and once there's one NFL team in Toronto, the CFL is done. Yeah, and we don't want that. You know, forget about the Argos to an extent. We can think about the Argos, John Candy, and all the love for the Argos. But the other markets for the CFL are important, and it's important for the economy of Canada. So, like, you know, Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Saskatchewan Rough Riders, you know, all these other teams, You know, they are dependent in some ways on the Argos holding off the Bills from coming into Toronto. But we got a fox in the hen house because the owners of the Argos now, Ed Rogers, doesn't really care about the Argos, I guess, even though the Argos have been playing in his building forever. Yeah, I don't get this. I think you're exactly right, Kareem. This is dangerous for the CFL, what they did yesterday. And I think that diehard CFL fans need to elbows up and say, fuck you guys. We are rejecting the NFL as we always do. We are watching the CFL, the Grey Cup, and we support our boatmen, the Toronto Argonauts. And we don't give a shit about your Bills Mafia bullshit. Because in some ways, that's the way to do it right there. I know you're Broncos nation. Like, they going to get you to switch from the Bills to the Broncos? No, that's not happening. This man's Denver all the way when it comes to the NFL. So it's like, no, you ain't going to get Kareem Thomas to cross that blue and orange to go to the blue and red. No. That's not happening, Keith Pelly. It's not happening, man. And this is a guy who loves football, who played football and was very good as a running back. That's what I'm saying. G's saying, do you think they will promote the Raptors and Bills games, or is this just a one-way street? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, they're not, because the Raptors don't need promoting. In some ways, the fucking Raptors have never gotten the proper promotion by the Canadian sports media, whether it's TSN or Sportsnet. We know that. Look at where they get put on the Sportsnet, on the nightly news, when they put all the sports highlights out. Where do the Raptors get put? What priority? What spot? How much time do they actually give the NBA on those sports channels, Sportsnet and Sports Center, those channels? How much do they do that? That's already the sign there. No, there won't be any help from the Bills towards the Raptors. There won't be any help from the Blue Jays to the Raptors. There won't be any help from the Leafs to the Raptors. It will be the Raptors helping out all those other fucking places and diminishing our brand value in the process. That's what it's going to be right there, man. That's going to be. It's a one-way street. Absolutely. And it was shown yesterday. In fact, they minimalized the Raptors' presence being there. They acted like there were football players there, but I didn't see no football players there. Maybe they were mistaken. Keith Pelly, know your own fucking personnel. That was the Raptors standing up front. And like, they did it very poignantly. Like, they very much had rules. And when Mariah Amber got up there to start the whole thing, she looked like she wanted to cry. Like, she is not cool totally with what happened yesterday. I read her energy. You could tell she's used to calling an audience in the arena during Raptors games. Hello, Raptors fans, to the best the fans in the world, the Raptors fans. You know, that's her gig. But they had her shim-shamming Buffalo Bills and totally disregarding the Raptors. And in some ways, when she was able to say the words Toronto Raptors, she lit up. And she was very much in it. And the other stuff was kind of like, well, yeah, okay. This is what this is. I mean, this is a poignant, important day yesterday because it's signaling what the ultimate plan of Ed Rogers is with this fucking whole thing and this conglomeration of sports. This is part of it right here. Seymour saying if Toronto leaves the CFL, it will still survive. It just won't win a popularity contest. That's for sure. Water it down. Yeah, I don't see that. In some ways, they do need Toronto. If you're going to have a Canadian football league, you need a Toronto team. I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I'd see like what Kareem's saying is the whole league could be in trouble. Seriously, this is not some facetious shit. This is historic. This is the Canadian Football League. And people here should be protecting it and trying to fight for it instead of fucking, jumping ship and going Bills Nation. Fuck that. You can be Bills Nation and Argos Nation, but let's keep them separated with the border. And if nobody was going over the border of the Bills Nation, well, go talk to your congressman. Go talk to your fucking president, you dumbasses over there. Don't come and try and beg us to come back. No, fix your political system and fix the fucking corruption of billionaires buying elections and fucking corrupting your system of democracy and put in a fucking orange man with a small dick in charge that he's fucking doing his bullshit right now. Like, seriously, don't look at us. Y'all need to fix your dumpster fire over there, United States. And we ain't trying to come over there and help you until this shit is fixed. That's part of how we strike and take a stand. In fact, the people of the United States that are right-minded and the right way, and they think this, and they're very clear and they're smart people, they're like, yeah, don't come here, Canada. We're fucked up right now. And in some ways, you supporting this is going to help. So don't support the United States. Don't support the fucking NFL right now and go across the border just because Donald Trump's in charge, and we need to protest somehow. This is part of how we resist. We don't spend money in the United States. We don't buy American. We buy Canadian, and we reject the Buffalo Bills. We go and we get behind the Argos. That's what you do right there. That's as Canadian as possible right there. That's the right decision, Canadians, right there. What I just said, man. That's it right there. Saskatoon people bleed green. Winnipeg loves the Bombers. Calgary and Edmonton got that rivalry. You'll be fine. I don't know. That's not for sure, man. You got to have the most. I want to say this. This is just the damn truth. The most important city in Canada needs to be involved in the CFL. That's just the damn truth. People say, why are you the most important? Fucking are, all right? And the rest of the Canada can be fucking jealous and hate Toronto in certain ways. But Toronto is the most important city in Canada. That's just the damn truth. You know that's the fucking damn truth. All y'all over there and other places. And don't get mad at me for saying that because it's just the damn truth. You know it is. You know it's the damn truth. Nins is here. A guy in Philly. He's probably telling us, don't come here. He's probably the same way. He's like, Nins is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And he'd probably say, yeah, don't come here, Canadians, right now. This country's fucked. And in some ways, we need you to help us by not coming here. That's what he would say. Morning, Lex and the crew. Good morning to you, sir. Salute to our Discord admin. It's Nins, the man in Philly. That's right. We love that. Trevor saying 13-year-old boy that destroyed Trump on video that went viral. Yeah, I didn't click on that. In some ways, I don't know what that was. That kid looked like he was AI. I didn't watch that. I'm not watching Trump shit if I don't have to. Let's just put it that way. I stopped watching Tennessee Brando. I think Tennessee Brando is amazing, and I think y'all should watch him if you want to, but in some ways, he's too doomsday. And some of what he's doing is he's establishing what is happening and saying it's the reality. And I'm like, I don't like that, bro. Because he's saying, well, now we got to get used to this is going to be a long, long time before we figure it. In some ways, I feel like he's a double agent because he's fucking trying to ensconce on the other side the belief of reality in the setting of what it's going to be and what they want it to be. And he's trying to kowtow and say, oh, he's telling our side, well, it's just going to happen. We're going to have to get used to this being this. I'm like, fuck you, Brando. No, we don't. No, we don't. And you talking like it's already said and done, it kind of pissed me off. So I unsubscribed. It was like, yeah, fuck you, Brando. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I didn't watch this. Anybody can destroy Trump. A 6-year-old could destroy Trump. A 13-year-old, sure, for sure. A 13-year-old could destroy Trump. A 6-year-old could destroy Trump. That does not surprise me. His mentality is not much more than a 6-year-old's. So why wouldn't a 6 or 7 or 8-year-old be able to destroy Trump? Easily. Oh my gosh, easily. Fiercely saying, Trevor, can you share the link in the other channel on the Discord, please? He did. It's on the Discord. The link to that is already there. He did do that. That's right. Fiercely saying, Lakers bust Cam Reddish, leaving the NBA to go play in Lithuania. I'm hoping Koloko doesn't take the same route. Well, he might have to. It's not about anything what you hope for him. His decisions lead to what he gets. And, well, his decision to go to the Lakers, well, he gets what he gets. That's just the sad truth of things. That's why you can't take advice from Rich Paul when his main client is LeBron James, and LeBron James just wants centers on the Lakers. You sacrifice. You're sacrificed to the great LeBron. Go and help them. Well, the Lakers aren't good for development. Your career's not doing as good, Christian Koloko. Well, you shouldn't have fucking left Toronto, you dumbass. That's what it is right there. So, yeah, you get what you get, Christian. If he is out of the league in the next year, so be it. It's just how it is. And he can go there and play in Europe. I'm not like you, Fiercey, on that. I'm not hoping for that for him. His decision was made. That's right. Seymour saying it will come down to one city will have one owner, one team name, one tax pay for 4 sports teams. The rich get richer and the poor get nothing. I see it coming. Yeah, consolidation and monopolization. That's what Ed Rogers is doing. The Thanos stones. That's right. He wants to get all those stones. Well, you won't have the tempo ever. And if it gets really ugly, well, I'll turn off. See, I don't want to ever do that. I don't ever want to turn my back on the Toronto Raptors. That does not seem natural to me. But if I have to, I will. And I will go to Toronto tempo fully and wholeheartedly. And I will. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, this is the corporate mentality of takeover, consolidate, and monopolize. And then drive prices up when you are the only gig in town. And that's what scares the hell out of me about Ed Rogers' monopolization. He's monopolizing cable. Why the fuck would he even try and monopolize sports? And it's exactly right what Seymour's saying. It's like one city, each city is going to have one sports owner that owns all the 4 major sports teams in that city. And then, like, what system is this? This is Vince McMahon getting WCW and ECW all over again. If you want an example of why this is bad, is because monopolization does not breed innovation. It breeds a worse product and the same kind of shit over and over again. So diversity in the marketplace and competing companies making the same product is always better. Any monopoly is horrible for society because that person is in charge. And, you know, Loblaws is trying to be the monopoly on food. Rogers is trying to be the monopoly on cable. And they've been very successful in getting less and less options for cable and internet. And, you know, that's not a good thing. Consumers need choices because when you have choice, you can get a better product. You can get innovation. You can get a choice to choose not to support one company if you don't want to. But if there's no other choice and you have to support that company, that's not right. That is not right. And that's why fair competition and real capitalism has competition. That's not capitalism when you monopolize to the extent where you're the only show in town and nobody has a choice. That's not capitalism. That's totalitarian dictator kind of shit. Honestly, that is it. What it is right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Kaz is talking about the Eurobasket. He's saying, let's go Georgia. That's cool. 28-15 Georgia after the first quarter. There you go. So Larry Markkinen and Finland have got the early lead over Sandro and Georgia. Yeah, they started at 10 this morning. The Eurobasket quarterfinals. Yeah, let's go Georgia and Sandro Mamu. It may be tough. We'll see. Finland beat Serbia, so they must be pretty good, man. They must be pretty good. Let's see. Did I miss your comment about Georgia already, Cass? There it is. Let's go Mamu today. That's right. That's right. Let's go Mamu. That's right. All right, let me see. After that, we've got this next comment. Fiercely saying, doesn't Toronto have a football team? Why putting the Bills on blast when we have the Argos? Why not pushing for the Argos to join the NFL or create a team that's that level? It's so freaking insulting. No. All right. Fiercely, obviously, you don't understand this situation. There's no way the Argos will join the NFL. There's no way. That is not going to happen. There's a lot of overtures, and the NFL wants this to a degree. And fans in Toronto want this to a degree, to have an NFL team in Toronto. They've wanted to try and do this for a long, long time, but it's never really worked exactly right. Part of it is the conflict of CFL and Argos fans being very protective and fighting this off, and they will continue to do this. There's a very strong contingency of CFL fans that will be very anti-Bills and NFL and fighting this, and I give them power. I'll give all the power in the world to those people, because I believe the CFL is a good product and that it should have its chance to survive. But when the owners of the team in Toronto are actively promoting the competition, the alternative choice away from the CFL, the NFL, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. And all it is this. All it is this. What it is basically is the Bills are giving money to MLSE. So Ed Rogers is getting paid at the top to allow Ed Rogers allowing the Bills to use our platforms to promote themselves on this side of the border. That's what this is, Fiercey. That's it right there. The Bills gave money to Ed Rogers and MLSE so that they could have more exposure on this side of the border through MLSE. And that's the partnership right there. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Now, we should support the Argos, Canada first, and let's get behind our CFL. That's right. Wayne Strainer saying, morning, Rapid Freaks. American rugby isn't on my radar. Sorry, it's not football. Wade's getting a dunk. They throw an egg-shaped item. A ball is round. One person throws and another catches. It's rugby, American rugby. Boom goes a dynamite. I love that. It's not soccer. It's not football. It is rugby, American rugby. Wayne Strainer, you can get a dunk, man. That's awesome comment. I love that so much. That is so poignant right there. I mean, I know the CFL is Canadian rugby then too, right? By that logic, we were playing Canadian rugby up here too. But yeah, you've crossed the century line. You're at 102 now, man. 102 for Wayne Strainer making a funny about American football being American rugby. I love that. He's so right, man. He's so right. Good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Good morning to you, Cool Cat. Good morning to you. What's the impact of CFL with Buffalo Bills? What's the impact? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. In what regards? What's the impact of CFL with Buffalo Bills? The CFL doesn't have as much impact on the Bills in the NFL, but the other way does. The NFL can have a huge impact on the CFL. The CFL, in some ways, yeah, it's a diminutive compared to the juggernaut of the NFL. I get that. The money derived by the NFL is way, way huger than the CFL. And the CFL is different. But in some ways, just like the CBL can be what it is with the NBA, the CFL should be what it is with the NFL. And as proud Canadians, we should support the Canadian Football League if we are into that kind of rugby sport. And, that's what I say. In some ways, the thing that happened yesterday means we need to dig in more for the Argos and the CFL. In fact, Keith Pelly, what you may have done just now is made me more anti-Bills. I'm more Ravens now, all of a sudden. And I'm going to probably more actively root for the Argos now. If this is an indirect way to get you guys to get the popularity of the Argos up, well, it may work with some people like me. I don't watch the CFL hardly at all. I haven't paid that much attention to the Argos. My team in the CFL is the Blue Bombers, not going to lie. I'm a Winnipeg Blue Bombers fan when it comes to CFL, but I will root for the Argos too, because that's my hometown, Toronto. But yeah, in some ways, it's like, look, maybe we're going to dig in even deeper on this. We're digging in on the tariffs and not going across the border and spending money in America. Well, we may be digging in on this football thing too and saying, no, we're not going to be watching the NFL. In fact, I'm going to watch more CFL because of this, to spite you. That's what I hope people do. That's what I hope people do. So maybe there will be an impact just because Keith Pelly's an idiot with his design of what he wants to do with the sports here in Toronto. That's right. Kaloy saying, hell yeah, I saw that presser in the Raptors channel, but then saw the NFL Bills logo and I clicked close right away. Yeah, they probably found that. They're probably going to find that the clicks on it are very less. And they may even look at the stats for the YouTube stuff and be like, whoa, nobody actually watched this. They caught on. They saw the Raptors walk out and sit down. And then they saw that this wasn't about basketball at all. And these are basketball fans on this basketball channel. And they're like, what the fuck is this garbage? And they clicked it off. They may even clicked it off as soon as they saw Keith Pelly. And maybe like the YouTube algorithm stats will be showing, oh, wow, look at that huge drop off. What happened at that point on the stream? Oh, that's when Keith stepped up. Oh, look at how it just went. He's so goofy too. I wish he wouldn't speak, man. Seriously, because you're so arrogant. You really come off very arrogant, Keith Pelly. And honestly, in some ways, you're a villain. You already are, man. You're like a Gotham villain. You fucking put a monocle and an umbrella over his head. He's the fucking Penguin, piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, a little short piece of shit, palling around with Doug Flutie and Pinball Clemens. No, fuck you, Keith Pelly. I gotta say it one more time. Fuck you, Keith Pelly. 2-finger salute for you. That's right. 2-finger salute to you. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Randolph is saying this. Good morning, Randolph Phillips. Morning blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Do not waste your energy on things you have no control over. There's enough for you to do with such energy to help make this world a better place. I agree. You know, the Serenity Prayer is a rule that rules my life. I have to know what I can and cannot control, the wisdom to know the difference, and the power to go do it when I do. And I have power in this situation. Sure, some people say, you have no power over this bullshit. I am a person that has a voice on YouTube that people hear. And maybe it's not a huge percentage of Raptors Nation, but people, in some ways, y'all hear me, you go talk to the next person, and it goes around. And that's the thing. You know, I have a power in this where I can say, you know what, let's reject the Bills. Let's reject what MLSE is trying to force us to get into. And we're like, nah, fuck this. Fuck this. We're not doing this. So, yeah, it's just how it is. So there is a power we have. And the power is in individual control of what you do. Are you going to go and support the Bills because Keith Pelly asked you to yesterday? That's your choice. Or are you going to be like, fuck this. I'm for Canada. I'm for the CFL. I'm for the Argos. And I am for the Raptors. And in some ways, I don't know what this Bills garbage was on the Raptors channel yesterday. I have no idea what this shit is. You have power in the individual as yourself to control where you spend your money. As far as you going to go to Raptors games at Scotiabank, okay. You're going to go to Buffalo to go watch the game, okay. That's where your power lies. I'm not going to Buffalo. I'm going to the Raptors game at Scotiabank. I'm supporting the CFL and I'm supporting the Argos. That's where our power lies in our individual decisions as a consumer. And denying Ed Rogers and his big business scheme plan what he wants with his overarching umbrella of consolidation. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do right there. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. That's right. Cool Cat saying, I guess MLSC is not thinking that WNBA Toronto Tempo is an option, huh? Laugh out loud. Well, they might find out. They might find out. I mean, Ed Rogers is already totally off on the WNBA and his opinion of it and whether it's going to make money or not. You're an idiot. You are an idiot, Ed Rogers. You can get what you deserve with the WNBA and Toronto Tempo and Kilmer Group and Teresa Resch. Yeah, you're going to get what you deserve. In fact, I could see the popularity of the Tempo going crazy, similar to the Raptors in the last 12 years, partly because of Teresa Resch. Teresa Resch was a huge reason why the Raptors brand got so good in the last 12 years, because she was in part of the aesthetics of it. She worked with Masai Ujiri. Why do you think we had Black Lives Matter on our bus in Tampa when we were in the bubble? Because that was Teresa Resch. Teresa Resch put that branding. She had the social activism mind. She had the politically charged kind of things and notions. You see it's moved on to the Tempo. The Tempo are already doing a lot of stuff for indigenous groups, for women's place in sports. They're doing so many important social justice warrior kind of stuff that energy with behind the Raptors. But now it's going to be on the tempo. And for people that like the Raptors for that reason, for being politically charged and standing for something, well, they're going to move on to the tempo because that energy will be there. In fact, I could see the Raptors being less and less political in the post-Masai era and them saying, no, this is too woke. It'll come from the top. And it'll be like Ed Rogers and Keith Pelly will be like, yeah, that's too woke. Although Mariah Amber did do the land acknowledgement yesterday. And in some ways, I was like, wow, they're still doing that. That's good. That's a good sign that they're still doing the land acknowledgement before any kind of ceremony. That's important. You know, the Bills guy who runs the Bills thing, he kind of rolled his eyes when it was going on. I saw you doing that, motherfucker. I saw you doing that. Yeah, but that may be a canary in the coal mine right there. How long are they going to be doing the land acknowledgement for the Raptors games before the game? Are they going to come out and talk about the Mississaugas of the credit and Turtle Island? Or are they going to start saying, no, that's woke shit. I'm Ed Rogers. I'm a Trump motherfucker, and I'm a piece of shit, and we're not doing that anymore. You know, there'll be some signs in certain ways. But yeah, the tempo, they're going to get that audience because Teresa's there, and she was that driving force. Masai is very political, socialist justice warrior. He likes authenticity. He likes trying to change the world for the better. And that's part of the energy that the Raptors made it so attractive and so powerful. And Ed Rogers and Keith Pelly have no idea. And they're more important about making a sports consolidation conglomeration than actually trying to change the world through social justice. You know, it's a weird thing, man. Trevor's saying, I do not know why they call it American football when they use their hands. I run with the legs. Trevor putting a burn on that too. Yeah. Yeah. Why is it football? Because one guy kicks the ball all the way down the field at the beginning, and then one guy kicks the ball after they score through the uprights. Is that why they call it football? Yeah, it's not football. Soccer uses your feet. That makes more sense to me that it is called football. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, do not click. I did not click, and I noticed that less than 100 likes on all 4 posts. People are not into it. I will make a point of liking all true Raptors related content and ignore the rest. Exactly. That is MJ empowering herself in this situation, knowing what she can and cannot control, and she can control her finger and whether she clicks on something or likes something or even views it. And that's what I'm saying, Raptors fans. If you don't like this one serve all buffet of sports that Ed Rogers trying to concoct here, well, send them the message by the metrics through the social media. Send them the message by the comments and by saying what you feel in the comments. Say it. I seen you Argos fans yesterday, and I give you power, and I hear you. I want you guys to keep standing up like this because you're true Canadian patriots standing up for the CFL right now. And in some ways, I can get all patriotic about this. Turncoat fucking Keith Pelly, you piece of shit from Etobicoke. Seriously. Y'all want to use the Ontario kids to make concussions and have them put into football? No, the pipeline is for basketball. Kids here want to be like RJ Barrett. Kids like want to be here like Vince Carter, that you used basketball stars to entice people to come to your stupid ass press conference yesterday. Yeah, Vince Carter is way beyond a bigger star than Mike Pinball Clemens or Doug Flutie. I'm sorry, motherfuckers. That's just the damn truth. So you had to use Raptor star power to promote NFL and Buffalo Bills. That's pathetic, honestly, when you really think about it all the way through. That's pretty pathetic, honestly. That's right. Fiercely said, now I'd rather go back to follow the Montreal Alouettes rather than supporting that forced movement. No, if you want to support Montreal, that's fine, because that is a CFL team. And that's what we want. You can support Montreal on this. You can support any of the CFL teams, just as long as it's a Canadian, right? Now, you don't have to be an Argos fan, Fiercey. You're from that area over there. So yeah, definitely go with the Alouettes. Speaking of supporting Canada, let's do the straight goods on Canadian goods. I'm talking about wool and winter thermal socks, guys. There's a company called Dristex Merino wool socks. They're Canadian owned and manufactured. So if winter's coming up and you want to stay warm, you can get some winter socks from Dristex, the company. They're a 100% Canadian company, and you'd be buying some Canadian winter socks. That sounds like they know how to make winter socks up here, right? That they gonna know how to make better winter socks than down south, because we need them up here. That's right. Dristex Merino wool socks. That's my straight goods on Canadian goods today. Yeah, interesting. I did socks today. It's kind of weird, man. Mark Tavares is here. The NFL may have a bigger brand, but CFL is more exciting, fast-paced game. I agree with this. I'm going to agree with Mark T. Good to see you back. I'm going to give Mark T. Dunk for supporting Canadian product and saying that. I know this is a hurry up game and there's differences with the downs and there's differences with other stuff. And in some ways, I've heard people say this. Football fans, I should say Americans, rugby fans, have said this to me before. It's like, actually, when I watch the CFL, it's actually really fun to kind of watch because there's a lot going on there that isn't in like the NFL. And in some ways, that's really fun. 39 on the dunk charts from Mark Tavares. Yeah, it's a nice little kind of hybrid change from the NFL game, the CFL. And there's a lot of people that enjoy that version of football or rugby more than the NFL. And that's cool. Mark, good to see you, man. Kareem saying, laugh out loud, Seymour. Scarborough Thunder sucks. Mississauga Warriors, biatch. Oh, man. Oh, man. Here we go. Scarborough Thunder versus Mississauga Warriors. Wow. Now we're talking about community football, stuff like that there. That's right. Okay. Kareem has thrown the gauntlet down on that one. Wow. Cool Cat saying sports. Hang on. Jumped ahead. Sports is also used as a political strategy. 51st state strategy, people. More integration of the two countries, long-term consequence. Yeah, I know that struck me too yesterday. In some ways, like sports can be a Trojan horse. It can be a Trojan horse in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit Trojan horsing into Alberta, where Seymour is right now, to try and get people crazy. But I love that there's a big petition and movement that there's Albertans that are proud to be Canadians that are fighting back against separatists and saying we want to make legislation and rules to say never leaving Canada as the province of Alberta. Because in some ways there is a weird contingency of idiots, MAGA maples that want to actually separate and join the U.S. And I'm really happy to see the majority of people in Alberta aren't with that. And the vocal minority of the people that want to do this, they're idiots and they are not as big as a number as you think. Now, Seymour may say, man, I'm seeing them around me though. But look, they're trying to peacock and be as bigger than they are. That's always been the truth about MAGA. MAGA is not as big as everybody thinks. They peacock and try to make themselves look bigger than they actually are. So if they do the resolution in Alberta to say, yeah, we're protecting ourselves from any kind of bullshit about joining the United States, that's great. Canada first. That's what I say. Canada first. You're going to be Canadian? Stay with Canada. And that's what it is. Albertans don't want to join the United States. Fuck no. There may be a very vocal minority that's trying to act like they do, and they're fucking idiots. And who knows? Some of that shit is what Cool Cat's saying. Trojan horses coming over. Yeah. Yeah. Trevor's saying he shared that on the Discord yesterday. Yeah. The 13-year-old taking apart Trump. Kareem saying, I hated the fact Vince Carter was out there. I was coming around on him, but he keeps getting involved in the wrong shit. I guess he don't know any better. He's a businessman. He's an opportunist. In some ways, Vince's morals and what he cares about aren't the right ones in some ways, but that's just how it is. I can't fault him. In some ways, he's done what he's done in his life and he's done to this point, and this is the opportunity he wants. But it is kind of poignant that the two kind of charlatan Raptor legends are involved in this bullshit. You know, we've had periods of time where Vince and Tracy were not liked here in Toronto. And well, in some ways, they're not liked again. And is this even a part of the scheme? Like, is this part of the whole grand scheme why we retired his jersey last year? It's like Ed Rogers, like, I want to use you as a pawn to try and get the Buffalo Bills to be in Canada. Like, is this the whole grand scheme of it, Ed, that you're trying to do? This is why we retired Vince's jersey for sure, even if people didn't totally want it. Well, I'm going to do it because I have plans for Vince Carter. And in some ways, the symbolism of Vince Carter to the Raptors in all ways, whether it's bringing him up or putting him all the way down into the ground in the grave after he left, is symbolic of the action of who Vince Carter and his energy is around the Toronto Raptors. Someone we can't trust, somebody that is kind of absolutely kind of a flaky ass motherfucker. You know, in some ways, exactly right, Kareem. You and Monique and I have gotten better with Vince in the last year, but in some ways, this kind of shit makes me question all of that once again. That's right there. That's right. James is saying Coloco's 9-inch rim protection for us was special. He could have easily played backup center for us if he just waited. Yeah, it was stupid. I don't know why he wanted to get the fuck out of here so bad, but the tells were there that he did and that he wasn't considering coming back. And I even think the whole thing with the blood clot issue was a farce, and that was partly the way they could screw up his rookie contract and get him out of Toronto. I mean, God forbid that they made that shit up and that wasn't actually real and they fucked up his career like that. I hope that maybe it was real, but I wouldn't put it past some people to do shady ass shit And they're like, no, you're ruining your career in Toronto. We need to get you out of there. We need you back in the States. And Koloko is just an unassuming young man who's trusting. And they may have given him really bad advice and told him what to do. And when he's older, he may realize this. He may look back and say, fuck, I should have never left Toronto, because they had really good trainers there when I was there. And they didn't when I got to LA. They didn't. No, they didn't. That's just part of it right there, man. Kaz is saying Finland 57, Georgia 40 at the halftime. That's right. Utah should flip Lauri Markkanen. His value is at all-time high. Yeah, they probably should, James. They've been trying to. That's the thing. They've been trying to trade Lauri Markkanen for like 2 years now, but they don't like any of the deals they've been getting. Plus, Utah kind of screwed up a couple of years ago when they traded Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, because Danny Ainge at that time made these crazy high prices for those guys. So everybody's a little weary of dealing with Danny Ainge in Utah right now, because the deals he did with Cleveland and Minnesota to trade Donovan and Rudy Gobert to those teams, they kind of fleeced those teams of a lot of different things. And some people are very kind of apprehensive to do a deal for Lauri, right? For too much. That's what's holding it up. His stuff may be really high, but Danny Ainge is crazy, and he's asking for so much. He's asking for like maybe 2 players and multiple picks for just Lauri. So, I mean, that's why it's held up. Is Danny Ainge is crazy, and he has overvaluation, and in some ways, he's asking for some crazy ass shit in return. That's why, right there. But I don't want to disagree with you. His value is very high right now, especially because of Eurobasket, especially. Yeah, Cream saying CFL has been fighting the NFL not to have a football team in Canada for over a half a century. Honestly, I'm surprised the NBA got 2 NBA teams in Canada before the NFL. Good on the CFL keeping Canadian goods. Yeah, in some ways, I mean, how does CFL and the Argos feel about this? One of the ownership groups in the league is actively helping the competition of the NFL in their market, in their backyard. Like, seriously, how many Argos fans are feeling like Pinball Clemens is a turncoat today? Seriously, how many Argos fans out there are like, fuck you, Mike Clemens, you're a piece of shit for fucking stabbing the Argos in the back like this. You can get, he just loves football. It's just for football. We love football. That's all this shit is. Doug Flutie, former Argo also, in some ways, they if I was Argo fan, if I was a executive for the Argonauts, I would be like, what the fuck are we doing, Keith Pelly? Seriously, what the fuck are you doing to my team? Like, internally, that's got to be awkward as fuck. Keith Pelly, what are you doing? Are you going to talk to the Argos president or the Argos GM and explain to him what the fuck happened yesterday? Seriously, they're calling it a partnership between the Argos and the Bills. That don't seem right. That doesn't seem like it's helpful to the Argos. Not in the least. That's right. Not in the least. Fiercely saying, okay, fam, listening to you, I understand the Argos are in the CFL, and the objective is to push the Bills for economic reasons. Lex was right. Weird and questionable post-Masai era moves. Yeah. This is the thing. One of the secrets of Masai's success was he was very much the king of the castle and the cook in the kitchen. He was the one who was making the whole feel and the view of the Raptors the way it was, how classy it was with the black and the red. And all the top-notch quality of the brand of the Raptors was very, very carefully, meticulously crafted by Masai Ujiri and Teresa Resch and Dan Tolzman and Bobby Webster and other people around the team. And, the feeling around the team is different now. It's a little immature with NBA paint and the bullshit. And then, all of a sudden, we have more cross-promoting of other sports being put in our face all of a sudden. That shit was not happening last summer. And in some ways, quality control was Masai Ujiri. And in some ways, he was the cook in the kitchen that could say no when there was a direction or an idea that came up. That he's like, that doesn't really align with the vision of the Raptors that we have and what we're doing. And this shit yesterday did not. I'm telling you right now, this shit would not have flown in the Masai era. And that may be part of the reason why they wanted him to get the fuck out now, because they knew the conflict was going to happen as soon as they started this conglomerate shit. And Ed Rogers wanted to do it right away. No wasting time. I'm officially the ongner of MLSE in the summer of July of 2025. I'm going to start right away. We're going to get rid of Masai right away. And I'm going to start conglomerating everything as fast as possible. That's what this shit is. Man. That's right. Blackhawks saying Ed Rogers is a Trumper. Buffalo is missing Canadian tourism dollars, and so Ed is throwing them a bone so he can kiss the Trump ring. Yeah, I don't know if it's directly Trump, but he's definitely kissing America's ass in this shit. Yeah, he's definitely kissing America's ass in this. And obviously the Bills are in trouble if they're that desperate that they need to do a shit like this. Seriously. They must be in trouble if they're like this. Seriously. What's going on, Bills? Why are you so desperate? Why are you so desperate? Why are you so desperate, football? Seriously. Or a rugby. Why are you so desperate? That's right. Let's see. Trevor J saying Buffalo kids do not want to play football, so they have to come to Canada to look for kids here so they can give our young generation in Canada concussions. That's right. In some ways, hockey has these problems too, like with concussion and CTE to a degree. But that's the thing. The designs of the helmets and the ways that you can kind of safeguard the neck, the technology is coming along, but it's not coming along to stop it completely. That shit is still going to happen. That shit is still going to happen in high impact sports where people are ramming into each other. In some ways, the NBA don't have concussion problems because that's only if you hit your head on the floor like Grady did that one day. That's only, you're not getting a concussion from being in the post unless somebody knocked you in the face. Draymond Green punched you in the face. No, you're not going to get concussions in the NBA and basketball very often. No, it's a freak accident usually if there's a concussion. There's not many people. They have concussion protocol, yes. And that may be because you hit your head on the floor. That's usually why. Keep going. Let's see. Seymour saying, I was a flanker, a.k.a. a wide receiver. If I played defense, I would have took Kareem out with a low chop block tackle. Lafala, go for the legs. That sounds dirty as fuck. But in some ways, I don't know if that's illegal in football and rugby. I don't know. They do some crazy shit in rugby. I've seen them all crawling all over each other and grabbing each other all crazy in rugby. So why wouldn't it be like that in American rugby? Man, it sounds like Seymour Pape wants all the smoke with Kareem Thomas today. It sounds like he wants all the smoke with Kareem right now. This is a Mississauga Scarborough thing right now. That's right. Seymour saying Laurie wants out of Utah. Doesn't want him to go. Utah doesn't want him to go. He is all they have in Kessler. Now, I think Utah is actually okay with trading him. It's just they haven't got the right package together because Utah's in like a delayed rebuild. They've been kind of wanting to start rebuild since they traded Donovan and Rudy, but they haven't really totally done it yet because Laurie's still there. So it's like a delayed rebuild. They're waiting for Laurie, or they want to move Laurie so they can completely start over because that's really what they're trying to do right now. But I don't know what's going on. I don't think they've been successful in trading Laurie, and that's what it is. They want to trade him. Laurie wants to leave too, I'm sure too, but it's not lining up the right way so far for what's happening. Yeah. Wayne's saying it's okay for Vince. He's doing business. He's not going to sway most of us in supporting, but sure enough, we'll be against the Bills for sure. Give VC a small pass. It's his money. Yeah, I can't get mad at him. If they gonna have him come out there and they're giving him an ownership piece, he's got to take that opportunity. Quite often ownership is very exclusive, Uncle Dennis. And, it's the kind of thing where, they've blocked out players from being owners in different ways. People like Magic Johnson are not the rule. They're the exception. Magic Johnson getting allowed to be in the ownership tier of sports is a big deal. Well, Vince wanted a little part of that. And that's why he come in this way. That's the thing. In some ways, that's the old white man's club, the ownership level. Oh, no, you're a player. Oh, no, you're African-American. No, we can't have you be an owner. No, you have to be white and middle-aged and rich to be an owner. Oh, you want to come in? In some ways, I can't get mad at Vince for trying to get in that club, but don't talk to us like we're stupid, Vince. We know what's going on. Seriously, we calling it all out on the Raptor Freak channel this morning. Don't act like, yeah, we know what's going on. In some ways, Vince, you weren't that bad in the thing yesterday. He's a very good orator. He got up there and he was funny and he had a couple things to say. He was inspiring. He kind of acknowledged what they're doing. They want to establish more camps with the Bills in Ontario to get kids more involved in football. That was really kind of the main point of what was happening yesterday. Other than trying to integrate the Bills and get more Canadians to jump the board and go watch Bills games, they want to establish youth camps and youth organizations for kids in Ontario to get more involved in American rugby. That's right. We might start calling it American rugby every day now. Wayne Strainer, that's a good call right there. I like that. That's right. Mark's saying this, Mark Tavares. The reports are that the NBA wouldn't clear Coloco to play due to the medical reasons. Why would the Raps keep him in the roster for a year and a half without paying him and just to keep him and waive him? Yeah. Well, the part with the waiving was because of the Siakam deal. Siakam was a deal that brought in multiple players, and we needed the roster spot. So we waived Koloko, and in some ways we were holding on to him and trying to keep him around, but it was just getting the breaking point. And then as soon as we waived him, all of a sudden, oh, now he can start getting healthier. All of a sudden, it's very suspicious. It's very, very suspicious. So, that was it right there. Is that we didn't want to waive him, but we needed the extra spot with Jordan Wara and Bruce Brown and them coming to us in the Indiana trade. And some people say, well, why didn't you just drop Jordan Wara and keep Koloko? I don't know. At that point, I don't know which one would have been the best choice. Some people would say, oh, it would have been Christian for sure. But at this point, do you really think that? Seriously, I don't know. I mean, Wara's not in the league anymore. I get it. But I mean, in some ways, that was what the decision was at that time. If we could have kept the rights to Koloko, maybe the Bobby and Masai figured it out. And they're like, no, we got to do it this way. This is the thing, Masai, and this is what Bobby said to him. Koloko's problem may not go away. He may have this problem for the rest of his career. Bobby, you're right. You know what? It's sad to say it because I love Christian, but let's waive him. It was probably a very tough decision to do that. And it was really in that crazy period of time where we traded OG and Pascal, where we waived Christian. And it was really to make room on the roster for all the other players coming, like Oshai and Kelly and Jordan and Bruce Brown, stuff like that. Toronto Maple Leafs fan is here. I want to hear what he has to say about this whole thing and whether, the Buffalo Bills are going to invade their social media on the Maple Leafs at some point, sometime this year. I don't know. We'll have to see. I want Kawhi back now more than ever. You're crazy. Yeah, you got to get off that note. You're a one-hit wonder on the radio right now. Every hour on the hour. I want Kawhi. I want Kawhi. No, you don't. Why would you want him? This man's career may be over. You don't understand this. He's in so much trouble right now. They may keep him. Like, I heard this, guys, yesterday, the NBA owners had a secret meeting yesterday. Yeah, all 30 of the NBA owners came in and had a secret meeting, and it's probably because of this Clippers mess. And they did not reveal any details about what was talked about at that thing. Whether they talked about poo-pooing this shit and sweeping it on the rug and letting Steve Ballmer stick around, or whether they talked about kicking Steve Ballmer's ass out of the league. They got together and they got on the same page, all 30 owners of the teams. And basically, I don't know what was said, Adam Silver, what he said to them, but they got their shit straight as the NBA. And the decision that gets made about the Clippers will either be no decision, they're going to poo-poo it and sweep it on the rug, nothing's going to happen, or they're going to come in full effect and they're going to punish the hell out of the Clippers. If it's a just world and we don't live in Trump's criminal world, the Clippers get repercussions for what happened. But we live in a world where criminals, if they're right, white, and rich, they got away with their bullshit right now. So we'll just have to see. The meeting yesterday among the owners in the NBA, they may have decided to sweep it on the rug and help an old rich guy, Steve Ballmer, out. Or they may be coming for him, and that's what they decided yesterday. But that whatever they decided yesterday, they all decided together, one or the other, and we'll just have to see what the action is. And if Adam Silver's coming with repercussions for Steve Ballmer on this issue, well, we'll find out. If he's not, he's not. And that'll be what it is right there. That's right. Kawhi Leonard may be the one who gets the worst punishment in this. It could actually be that Adam Silver's like, I can't punish Steve Ballmer. He just spent so much money on this new arena. He's actually a really good owner in some ways. I know he bent the rules and did this. But Kawhi, you were wrong. You and Uncle Dennis were wrong for soliciting this extra fundage with no kind of work, this compensation. And you know what? You're banned from the NBA for life. Toronto Maple Leafs fan, that's more likely to happen than Steve Ballmer getting banned for the rest of his life from being an owner in the NBA. Let's just put it that way, because money talks. And what has Kawhi done in the last 6 years for anything? I think you're trolling when you come in here with your Kawhi shit. I'm going to say this last time, all right? You come in here and say the Raptors need to get Kawhi another time, you're getting a strike. And you may be on thin ice for coming in here because it's a tired-ass, sorry-ass joke. If it's a joke, if you're being serious, well, it's uneducated and it's a stupid-ass idea. So either way, stop bringing that garbage in here. Jack Armstrong say, get that garbage out of here. Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I want Kawhi more than ever. Okay, go be a Clippers fan then. Go be a Clippers fan. You can do that. He wanted to be a Raptor, but was given a bad advice. No, he didn't. He never wanted to be a Raptor in his damn life. He came here and humored us for 1 year, won a championship, and left. He didn't want to be here in the first place. He came and did it because he knew if he didn't, his NBA career could be ruined and he could be in trouble. So he came in, he did 1 year with the Raptors, won a championship, fucked around, got finals MVP, and he took off immediately. They all knew. Nick Nurse said that in December of the championship year, he knew that Kawhi was not going to be back next year. And that's why they went all out to try and win it that year. So don't give me this crap, Maple Leafs fan. Kawhi Leonard never wanted to be a Raptor in the first place. And he damn for sure didn't want to be a Raptor after he won the championship again. Why the fuck would he leave? Seriously, that's crazy. Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs fans saying he might be the missing link to win another title. Nope. Listen, you're going to tell me you know hockey, you don't know jack shit about basketball if you won't give me a comment like that. Seriously, go ahead and stick to hockey. Your ideas may work over there, whatever the Leafs are doing, all that kind of shit. But that kind of shit is not flying here. Any sensible, smart Raptors fans knows Kawhi Leonard is a dead end at this point. And you coming in and saying that just shows that your knowledge of the NBA is very not good. Let's just put it that way. Troll my life, fan. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He's calling it right now. Sheriff's calling troll. Sheriff's calling troll on TML fan. They should have given Kawhi 1% of MLSE. Troll in like a troll. Troll in like trolls do. Get under that bridge, motherfucker, and say hi to Keith Pelly when you get under there. That's right. Say hi to Keith Pelly when you get under that bridge. That's right. Cool Cat saying we are seeing corporate priorities. Raptors fans, your dollars speak. Your viewership are your dollars speaking. Act accordingly. Exactly. We can empower ourselves every day by the decisions we make economically. The decisions we make in everyday life can affect things. So that's what I'm saying. Stop going to McDonald's. Go to A&W. Stop buying Coca-Cola products. Start buying Canadian products. Like there's a beer, the root beer, there's a A&W root beer, there's all kinds, there's Beck's Cola that's Canadian. There's a lot of different colas that are out there. They're Canadian. I'm go over them on this channel. It's just you got to find them. They're not spending as much money on advertising. They're not getting thrown right in your face. The brand recognition isn't as strong. But you know what? You can recognize Coca-Cola and understand they're supplying bombs to bomb the Palestinian people. So fuck Coca-Cola. It's not because they're American, but because they are a big supporter of Israel and bombing the Palestinian people. You know, there's a good reason to boycott Coca-Cola right there. So it's like, you know, your money, put your money where your mouth is and show them as a whole, we can really shape things and your own sensibilities. I'm not telling you how to do it. You figure it out in your own life. And it's like, this is something I do every day. I go to Starbucks. Why am I going to Starbucks? I'll go to Second Cup. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as that right there. Cass saying, that username is all I need to know. Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Well, they've been coming in here and they've been kind of fun to talk to. It's just I wish he dropped the Kawhi shit. If it's trolling, okay, go ahead and troll. What is there to troll? We fucking won a championship, Leafs fan. And when's the last time you won one? 67. Okay, keep putting Kawhi in my face. Talking about, oh, we should get Kawhi back. What is that? Some sort of joke? It's not a joke. History happened. We won a championship. He hit the shot. So I don't understand what you're trying to do. Like if it's like, oh, we're not realistically considering Kawhi Leonard back on the Raptors in any kind of way. If you are, you're an idiot, is what I'll say. No offense. That's just the damn truth. If you're seriously not trolling and you're being real, you're an idiot. Now, if you're a troll, okay, your troll has been, we've heard it. That's great. But if you're going to sing this one-hit wonder every time you come in here, Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you're going to be like Shaq Lindsay a couple summers ago with Zach LaVine, okay? And Shaq Lindsay knows that you know what? He knows that that's fair to say. It's fair to say right there. I love you, Shaq Lindsay. In some ways, you're like an MVP this summer. Seriously. G saying, I knew someone trying to bring an NFL team here many years ago, and they apparently look for 60 to 80,000 capacity, and Skydome is around 50,000. So if you see an expansion in the seats or a new stadium equals a sign. Well, it seems like Rodgers has already been trying to do that on the sly with the renovations. Has he been trying to add seats? Did the capacity of the Jays Stadium go up when they did the renos to Skydome? That's what I'm wondering right there. Gee, that's very interesting information. That totally makes sense, what you're saying. And you know what? I'm glad Skydome doesn't have that many seats because we don't want the NFL in Canada. No, we don't. No, we don't. Trevor's saying this. When Koloko looks back on his career, see that Ulrich has a better career than him and a better player. Then he'll know. He'll know right there. He'll know right there. I mean, Shamshe's a great person for him to gauge himself against. Now, Shamshe has more talent than him. I'm going to say that right now. He has more potential, and he probably will go way further than Christian in the NBA. But in some ways, the similar story, similar country, coming from the same country, came to the same team, got drafted by the same team. Yeah, this is an easy comparison that he can make. Trevor's exactly right. I'm giving him a dunk. I'm giving him a dunk. He's going to look back and he's going to think about, well, look at what Ulrich did and look what I did. Something's not right here. 132 on the junk chart for Mr. Trevor J, getting his 132nd dunk right there. That's right. Fiercely saying, why are we mentioning Kawhi? He needs to stay there. We don't want him. Yeah. No, that's TML. I troll Maple Leaf fan. Troll Maple Leaf fan. That's what the T stands for. Troll Maple Leaf fan. Troll away, Maple Leaf fan. Troll away. It ain't going to get you any closer to the Stanley Cup. And that's that toxic Maple Leaf fan base I was talking about that gets in the way of their success. That's in some ways, that's it right there. It's inauthentic is what it is. It's inauthenticity. If you want to win, you got to be authentic like Masai. You got to be authentic like Kyle Lowry. You got to be authentic like Lex. If you want to win, Toronto Maple Leafs fan. If you're not being authentic in my stream, well, that's a symbol of what I'm talking about right there. Right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. G saying, I said if the owners get angry, that's when things will change. One billionaire pissing off a bunch of billionaires, who wins? Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I want Donald Trump to piss off all the billionaires in the United States, so there's a coup. It could be similar to what's happening in Russia. Putin's doing stupid shit, running the country in the ground, and all the Russian oligarchs decide to coup his ass out and say, you know, you're bad for business, Vladimir. Our country has gone to shit with your war in Ukraine and your dumbass decisions. And our economy is so crappy now, and we're not making as much money as we would. You're bad for business. You're out, Putin. At some point, billionaires will oust leaders if they're bad for business. And fuck, there's probably a bunch of billionaires lining up to oust Trump in the United States right now because he's been very bad for business. All kinds of different places. Very good for his own crypto bullshit and hat business, but not very good for the aluminum business. Not very good for the Kentucky bourbon business. Not very good for the tourist business. None of them motherfuckers are enjoying Trump. And if they stand up and they start fighting him as billionaires against a billionaire, there you go. There you go. That's what we want. We want them to be pissed off. Who wins? More billionaires. The person with the most money is what according wins in this world. That's what wins. Whoever pays the most. That's what wins. That's right. Fiercely saying, nor is Entourage giving him bad advice. We're in a good place roster-wise. Not sure about ownership. Yeah, we're this is the thing. I'm going to be paying attention like everything so much in the post-Masai era. And, you know, I want us to be successful. I want us to get the second Larry O'Brien in the next couple of years. And I think we still can, despite this weird shit that's starting already. It's just that we have to take the wave of effect that Masai imprinted on the team and keep riding it out on that surfboard, Bobby Webster. You get up on that Hawaiian surf like you used to, my guy. You get on that board that Masai created, that wave for you, and you ride that wave as long as you can in the MLSE with the News Power structure and Keith Pelly's troll ass hanging around. You ride that wave, Bobby Webster, as long as you can ride that Masai Ujiri wave that was given us so generously to the great Masai, from the great Masai. We need to fucking have you ride that surfboard all the way through, because in some ways there may not be another wave in future for the Raptors like Masai Ujiri was. And that's the scary ass shit. That's why we have to capitalize on this now. Shed, Scotty, RJ, Brandon, Grady, Emmanuel. You guys need to do this now because we don't know what the future is for the Raptors. We need you guys to honor Ujiri by going out there and winning, beating their fucking asses. Brandon Ingram, you're a Hail Mary. Hail Mary, get out there and catch that ball in the end zone. 90-yard touchdown. Get that Hail Mary from Masai after him, for him. Because we have no idea if we're going to get another wave of proper kind of support and leadership in our team because we have a crazy-ass ownership group with Ed Rogers III in charge. Fuck you, Ed Rogers. That's what I'm saying, y'all. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. TML fans saying, really? I love Kawhi. He is my favorite player. Well, that's great. That's great. Go on, get underneath that bridge. We'll call you when Billy Goat Scruff come up. And you can go talk to them. Hi, I want to cross the bridge. I'm the troll under the bridge. I am Troll Maple Leaf fan. And I am Troll Pelly. Have a good weekend, goat. You know the old fairy tale, right? G saying, good point. Maybe they will let it slide so they can all try it. Guess we will see. Now, I don't know if they're going to let it try it. I think that Adam Silver does not want the league to do this because it's going to degenerate. This league of parity that he has built is working. But in some ways, if they're going to let the teams spend all the shadow money behind the scenes, it's going to fuck the league. You might as well call us the MLB. And I say this right now. Adam Silver's not going to let that happen. I think it's going to hold Steve Ballmer's feet to the fire to some degree. And because he does need to dissuade all the teams from doing any of this kind of shit. That's the whole thing. He's got to punish them. You don't punish people correctly, January 6th, you get shit like what we're living in the United States right now. That's what I'm saying. You need to punish people correctly when they break the rules and they do things wrong. And Adam Silver, if you are really a smart businessman, you need to understand this or your league will go to hell. If you just open shop like what Seymour's saying here, or G's saying this. They want to see if they can all do it. No, it won't happen that way. If it does, the league will be fucked and all the building towards parity will go out the window because all of a sudden teams like the Lakers and the Knicks will be spending all kinds of shadow money and weird shit will happen with roster moves. And all of a sudden we'll see weird super teams and we'll be like, why the fuck did this happen? Or how did this happen? I thought the salary cap mattered. Oh, it doesn't anymore? They can just spend and they'll get all these super teams and specific big markets and the rest of the league will suffer. Yeah, that's not a good business model. And Adam Silver has learned that in his tenure as the NBA commissioner. He's learned that. And he doesn't want to go that direction. He's going the other way. Seymour's saying this. Hang on. It jumped ahead. Let me see. Seymour said this. Not sure how true this is, but a story is brewing about Jeannie Buss tipping $115 million at a Luca restaurant in Europe. Weird. I hope this ain't true. Not another Bomber 2.0 story. That's interesting. So you're saying that Jeannie Buss, owner of the Lakers, who's not going to be the owner soon, guys. You know, the Buss family sold the team. She's not technically going to be the owner soon. It's going to switch, kind of like us. It's going to go from Larry Tannenbaum to Ed Rogers. Well, it's going to go Jeannie Buss to the ownership of the Dodgers owning. Yeah, that's another consolidation move. The Dodgers are going to own the Lakers too. So, if this is true, that Jeannie Buss went to Slovenia to a restaurant that Luka owns and tipped $15 million. That sounds crazy. Man, this whole world's going to hell. That's the thing. You're going to be so corrupt, the system will fail and it will crumble to the ground and destroy itself because it's just a big, huge criminal fucking organization, Ponzi scheme, all of capitalism. It always has been that to a degree. But with unregulated capitalism, it really becomes this and it destroys itself. Some ways people don't think life is fair. They opt out and they start saying, you know what? I'm not participating anymore. I'm going to go grow my own food. I'm going to go be more self-sustaining. I'm going to participate less and less in the economic systems of these billionaires. And you know what? They're not going to be parasites on my back sucking the blood out of me. I'm going to pare down my systems and services and I'm going to fucking be more self-sufficient. And I'll be able to take care of myself on my own. We get more back to that, y'all. We have more power in that way. I'm telling you right now, we don't have to play their stupid ass game. You have to sit down at the table with your family to play board games at family night, sure. But if the billionaires have a billionaire game, they want you to sit down and play at the table, you can opt not sit down at the table and play their stupid ass game. And that's what we can do more and more in our mindsets, in our behaviors, in our own life, is start thinking, is this decision towards a more self-sustaining life for myself where I can be more independent and taking care of myself and survive better in the new world coming? Or is this adding to the problem because I'm buying another and fucking this is going to be part of the problem of the whole system? That's what I'm saying. Every microtransaction, every decision you make in your life can add up to the cumulative of either direction. So you want to get more self-sufficient, go and fucking plant some fruit trees like I did. Go and plant some vegetables in your raised bed. Do shit like that. That's what'll get you there. That's right. TML fan saying, I can't say that I want Kawhi back now. Shaking my head. You can say it. You're on the record for this, my guy. But you sound like a broken record. You sound like an old parrot that an old lady has in her apartment that just says the same damn thing over and over again. That's what you sound like. No, we've heard your story already. If you come in fresh, and you come in with new stuff, TML fan, well, you're contributing. If you're coming in with the same tired record that you've said for the last couple of weeks, I want Kawhi. That's not adding to the channel. That's just bullshit. That's what that is. You can do whatever you want. You can come in here and say that, and I can tear you down also for it. That's the part of freedom. That's the other side. That's right. I don't care how we win. I just want to win another title. Okay, that's a good thing. I like that. I like that. I want to get a second one of those right there. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We can do that. Yeah, but we ain't going to do it with Kawhi. Okay, it's a dead end. Just trust me. Trust the guy who's been watching the NBA very, very closely for 40 years now. Very, very closely. I'm 50 years old. I've been watching the NBA since I was a kid, and I am watching it very closely. Just trust me. Kawhi is a dead end. He's a dead end. Neil's saying your favorite player is held together by bubblegum and rubber bands. There you go. And stem cell research. That's right. That's right. Kawhi, G saying this. Kawhi was an amazing player, but he used Toronto as leverage to get more out of the Clippers. He wasn't coming back. Appreciate what he has done, but I'm glad he's gone. Yeah, in some ways, I can accept the 1 year of Kawhi in the perfect masterpiece that it is. And I don't need any more of that. In fact, if we had been disappointed with Kawhi the next year and we didn't get the championship, well, the feeling around Kawhi would be totally different in Raptors circles. In some ways, it's like he's 1-1. But if he was 1-2 or 1-3 after 3 years of being on the Raptors, his legacy would be different. I mean, we could look at it this different ways, but in some ways, I say we got the prime of him. We got his best year. He got his peak year in the Raptors jersey. And you know what? Everything was downhill since. And that's true. We've looked at it. The last 6 years has been all downhill ever since. And none of us Raptors fans are that upset about him going at this point. We feel like we dodged a bullet. In fact, we were saying this like 2 or 3 years ago, TML fan. We've been saying we dodged a bullet on Kawhi way before anybody said it this year. We've been saying that for years on this channel already. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's see. TML fans. Oh, come on. Shaking my head. I used to like this channel. I don't give a shit if you like this channel or not. That's not my drive on this channel is to be popular. I don't give a shit if people like me or not. I'm here because I passionately love the Raptors. I stand for the Raptors. I don't stand for the Leafs. And I'm doing a channel for fans that are like me for the Raptors. And I don't give a shit if you like me or not. I don't give a shit if you like this channel. I really don't. I really, really don't. And that's funny that Seymour kicked you off or deleted your comment. I don't know. You didn't have to do that, Sheriff. It's all good. Dunk for Blackhawk. All right. I'll give Neil a Blackhawk. Dunk. Sorry. Neil a Blackhawk. I'll give Neil a Blackhawk. That doesn't make any fucking sense, Lex. That's weird, man. That's weird. Yeah, I didn't have my breakfast. I'm a little feisty, man. I got up like 5 minutes before the stream was supposed to start. That was why I was 5 minutes late. And it was not good. 60 dunks for Neil right there. Seymour's assist. The Team fan saying, I have read on Reddit that Kawhi's contract might be immediately canceled. That is why I really want him to come back. Why do you want this? He's damaged goods, literally, as a player. And in some ways, he's bringing a circus with him, whatever he does. In some ways, his career is cooked and done. His career was already half cooked already because of his physical problems and even being able to be on the field, on the court. At this point, the NBA might wash their hands of him and say, Kawhi, you had a great career. You're a two-time champion. You don't need to be in the league anymore. You're banned from the league for good. They could void his contract and actually ban him from playing the NBA forever after this. So there's no guarantee just because they void his contract with the Clippers that he could just circle back and come back to Toronto. Because, first of all, that's not probably high on his priority list. And then second of all, the NBA may actually outright say you're banned and outlawed from being the NBA ever again because we're making an example of you for trying to foster these kind of deals with your uncle behind the scenes. I mean, that's more likely than him coming to Toronto is that he's banned from the NBA for the rest of his life. Yeah, there's no space for him. Yeah, we have no room on our roster. No room at all. We signed Quincy Guerrier to an Exhibit 10 and waived him immediately yesterday, getting him ready for being on Raptors 905 this year. There is still a Raptors training camp spot that will be open, but it's not for Kawhi Leonard. It'll be for a player that's trying to make the league, and he'll come in and do training camp, kind of like Justin Jackson or whatever his name, Jackson from a couple of years, Josh Jackson, kind of like who was the guy last year who was trying to Jamias Ramsey. These guys will come and get added to the training camp roster, the last guy, and it's really just to try and make the team and just do some stuff. Yeah, there's no space for him, man. Yeah, Shaq Lindsay saying this. Kawhi is in deep shit. More details are coming out on how he tried to swindle Toronto on getting $10 million for doing nothing, plus part ownership on MLSE clubs. This is the thing. All the credit to the Raptors front office, Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, for not kowtowing to Kawhi. It's like they could have easily done a shady deal and tried to keep him, but they had their ethical standards. And they said, you know what? No, Kawhi, you want to get 10 million just on the side from us in a sham advertising thing, and you're not even going to do anything for it? No, we're not going to do that. Oh, you want a ownership stake in the Toronto Maple Leafs? No, we're not going to do that. You know, Masai and Bobby told him no. And I thank them for that. You know, the Clippers didn't, though. Steve Ballmer's willing to bend over backwards for Kawhi Leonard and totally fuck up a lot of things for Clippers and get them in this mess. You know, good job for having integrity, Raptors front office. That's what I say right there. That's right. TML fans say, shaking my head. I hate when you talk down on Maple Leafs fans. We have the best fans in the entire world, and that's just the truth. No, you don't. You have the toxic ass fans. You have arrogant fans that don't deserve to act like the way you guys act. Y'all haven't done jack shit, whether it's in society or winning, to walk around like y'all do. Seriously. Nah, motherfucker. Toronto's a Raptor city now. The Leafs are old school for old men, old white men. And the youth of Toronto loves the Raptors. And the Leafs, in some ways, have declined in popularity. So don't give me this shit. You want to bow up to me and Leafs Nation to Raptors Nation, you're going to get slam dunked every single time because the facts are there at this point. The Raptors are more popular and more valuation brand than the Maple Leafs. And your fans suck. They're a bunch of arrogant motherfuckers who don't deserve to walk around like they do in the city of Toronto like they are because they ain't won jack shit since 1967. And also, the whole idea that y'all are more important than the Raptors is absolute bullshit too. Absolute bullshit. So there you go. There you go. You going to hate it? Well, hate it even more. Unsubscribe. I don't give a shit. Go on then. If you don't, you know, I'm not giving you strikes. I gave you one earlier, but I could give you 2 more strikes. And that means I just kick you out and you don't have access to the channel anymore. Because seriously, this is not for fucking 10 million subscribers. This is not Lex kissing the advertiser's ass and putting ads on there. This is not Lex trying to make a very milquetoast basic channel that's for everybody to come in and love. No, this is Lex being Lex, specifically Lex. And if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. That's always the choice. The door is there. I don't give a shit if you're here or not. Seriously, I never have. People like this channel because it is what it is. And I love them for it. The people that are my people, and I see them every day almost on this channel. And in some ways, it's like, I'm not trying to kiss Maple Leaf fans' ass to be more happy here. Fuck that. You guys have been a problem for a long, long time. I used to work in the arena. I know how Leafs fans are. I used to serve you guys Subway sandwiches when Matt Sundin played for the Leafs. I know your team. I know your fan nation. I've seen a sad-ass, drunk-ass Maple Leaf dad drunk off his ass trying to fight the security while his 6-year-old son cried because they were getting thrown out of the fucking building because their dad was such a piece of trash. He couldn't fucking control himself. I've seen the kind of shit. I've seen the racism in Leaf Nation. Yeah, don't give me this shit. You can come in here and say, dock down to Leaf fans. We have the best fans in the entire world. You guys have crazy-ass masochistic fans that are arrogant and talk shit when they have no platform to stand on. That's what you got. That's what you got. Kaz, give me the update. Finland, 73. Georgia, 67 with 7 minutes to go in the game. Man, this game's going to be over before I'm done. Seriously. That's right. I mean, I'm over 2 hours. I still haven't done half the segments that we got to do today. Shaq Lindsay saying ownership is going to force Kawhi into retirement. I could see this. I could see that. I could see that exactly. That the NBA may do it. Adam Silver maybe say, Kawhi, you fucked up too bad. This is such a bad black eye. Your career is over. And Pablo Torre will have taken down Kawhi Leonard. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Fiercely saying this to Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I'm sure you are not the only one hoping for his return, but the way he moved after the chip was dubious. And now with the recent scandal and the info coming out, it looks like we dodged a bullet. That's right. That's right. That's right. I mean, this is stupid. That's why I say this guy's trolling, and now he's going to blow up to me when I'm calling him out as a troll, and he's mad at me because I'm talking down Leafs Nation. Dude, I've been talking down Leafs Nation for 4 years on this channel. In fact, we're going to have our anniversary on the 14th, guys. That is on Sunday. So Sunday special report, 4-year birthday party, Raptor Freak channel. That's right. 4 years in a row. I've gotten up every morning and done this channel every single day, almost 1,500 streams. So it's like, you're not going to stop me. That's right. You ain't going to stop me. I'll keep going. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, Kawhi is damaged goods physically and just reputation wise. He's damaged. That's right. Kaz is saying, laugh my ass. Maple Leafs are ass. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want to be animosity towards Leaf Nation. But when Leaf Nation comes and tells me, oh, we're the greatest and we're arrogant and stuff like that, no, I got to tell you the truth, motherfucker. I got to tell you the truth. I want to be nice to Leaf Nation. I have very good friends that are strong Maple Leaf fans, and I do want the Leafs to be successful, despite all the arrogant bullshit that people like TML fan will act like afterwards. So it's like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Look, we can coexist, but don't get it twisted. Raptors is a totally different thing. And if you don't understand Raptors, you don't need to be in here, is what I'm going to say. Unless you want to learn. Unless you want to learn. That's right. That's right. No, not me. Not me. No, 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 no. No, he's like, yeah, that's about the Shaq Lindsay, Zach LaVine comment. He's laughing about it. I love that we can laugh about it at this point. That's right. Trevor's saying Kawhi would not be available. He will get deported. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Canada deport him? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. Shaq Lindsay said, don't compare me to him. No. All right, I won't. All right, I'm going to give you a dunk, Shaq Lindsay. Seriously. Because you've been an odyssey. I've enjoyed your journey as a Raptor freak, and I appreciate you, man, for supporting the channel. Seriously, I really do. I just thought it was funny because in some ways you were a broken record about Zach LaVine. You know you were. He really wanted Zach LaVine on our team that summer, and he was going on and on about it. And that was the reason why. 72 on the dunk chart for Shaq Lindsay for being a good sport about my comment just now. Fiercely saying, but more importantly, at troll Maple Leaf fan, Kawhi is way too inconsistent and unreliable health-wise. He will not contribute to our team, just like he has had 4 years to help the Clippers get nowhere. He's had 6 years getting nowhere with the Clippers. 6 years. It's not even 4 years at this point. It's 6 years. We're in 2025. And he left the Raptors. Yeah, I guess it is 5 years. It's 5 years. We're in the middle. It's not 4 years. It's not 6 years. It's 5 years. He's had 5 years, 5 seasons. That's right. Kareem Thomas saying the fact didn't capitalize on coactus is criminal. Yeah, I don't know. That guy with the coactus, the guy, the plant guy, the Raptors fan plant guy. I mean, if he wasn't going to get behind Kawhi and Dine, why would he not do coactus? Of course he's not going to. That's right. James saying Kawhi wants to stay in LA. If anything, he goes to the Lakers. Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, the Lakers get him, bring him in there. Yeah, that'll be fun with Ayton and his dysfunction and his circus. Yeah, that'll be a great way to end LeBron James's career. We might as well end Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James's career together on the Lakers together like that. No, that ain't happening. I don't see Kawhi on the Lakers. No, if he wants to stay out there, he might have to go to Sacramento. I don't know. Maybe they trade him for DeMar, and that's what they have to do. What if that's what happens? Is that the Clippers trade Kawhi Leonard to Sacramento for DeMar, and DeMar gets to play in LA finally, and he's on the Clippers all of a sudden, and Kawhi got traded for DeMar again. That'd be kind of interesting if that happened. That could happen. That could happen. What I just said is more likely to happen than him going to the Lakers. I don't see Kawhi getting on the Lakers. Yeah. I could see him going to Sacramento, though. It's still California. Let's see. Kareem saying Kawhi and Dine, he had Canada under his fingerprint tips. He had the whole country idolizing him and looking at him as a god, as an MVP, threw it all in the ocean and went away. That's the thing. Like I said, I bring this up all the time. Mick Foley, wrestler, Cactus Jack, Mankind, Dude Love, said you don't take heat like that and throw it out the window. It's such a waste. Wrestlers would love to have that kind of adulation and that kind of a following, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They would love to have that just naturally happen. And Kawhi had that naturally happen here in Canada, a love affair that he just threw away. He didn't respect. And in some ways, he's an idiot for that. Like, seriously, you could have, like, I've told Scotty in his rookie year and Twitch, I said, Scotty, you can be the king of Canada, man. You could have the key to all the cities of this country and everything about it. You could be the king of Canada like Kawhi could have been, but he threw it away. Don't be so stupid to do that. And Scotty embraced that afterwards. He started saying stuff like that in media, saying, you know what? I love playing for the Raptors because it's not just playing for the city of Toronto. It's playing for the whole country of Canada. How many times have you heard Raptors say that? And they believe that because they know the branding of being a star in Canada it has some to it. Go ask Muggsy Bogues. Go ask Jerome Williams. Go ask Tracy McGrady that there is some money to be made in advertising and being on TV in Canada. if you're in good standing. Kawhi threw all that shit out the window. It's like he doesn't care. It's not like he's trying to do ads. It's like, my uncle wants to come talk to you. Yeah, listen, Kawhi's going to get $10 million and he ain't doing jack shit. He's going to stay at home. You're going to give him $10 million, but he's going to be an ad campaign for Cargo Jet. And yeah, but he ain't going to do nothing. You just give him the money, and that's how we'll do this. And we were like, nah, man, you better do services rendered if you're going to get paid, because that'll look fishy. And the NBA might be coming to look and see what's going on. Yeah, maybe coming to look and check your books and stuff like that. That's right. WStream, WFAM, 11:30 cutoff. Thank you. Thank you, Fiercely, for the cutoff in absence of Monique. Wayne saying the Kawhi issue is fishy. How did it get exposed? I'm summarizing that the owner wants out of Kawhi's contract, and this is the way to blow it up. We know nothing happens to the owner. Kawhi is the loser. What I've heard is, and you guys may know more because you watched the Pablo Torre thing, is that basically somebody was talking about it and bragging about it, and then Pablo went to see for the paper trail, and he found it. That's what it is. He heard an executive talking about that the Clippers, it was somebody from the Aspiration company, the sham company, saying that, yeah, the Clippers used us to pay Kawhi extra money outside the salary cap. And then Pablo Torre was able to go find the paper trail and actually find the paper evidence of it, like the real evidence. So that's what it is. I don't think that Steve Ballmer wanted this shit. I don't think the Clippers did this on purpose to try and do this, Wayne. I think that this shit came out from underneath and they did not want this shit out. And it may be because of loose lips of some guy who's saying, yeah, the Clippers did this, and Pablo Torre heard him, and then he went investigating. He said, whoa, wow, they're not even covering their tracks. That's the thing. The arrogance of Trump and what he does is just like Hitler. This is the thing. Hitler was one of the worst strategy guys for war. He was arrogant. He was paranoid, and he did a lot of dumb shit, partly because he was scared. And that's part of why the Allies won in World War II, is because Hitler was a horrible military leader. Well, Putin and Trump are both horrible military leaders also, because a lot of what they do will be ruled from their ego. A lot of them will be ruled from paranoia and worry. That's part of the reason why he's sending the National Guard into these blue cities, is because he's paranoid about, losing power. That's the thing. He's so scared of losing power, and he's very close to losing power in a lot of different ways. That's the crazy, interesting thing. So if Trump gets involved in military kind of things, he's going to be horrible at it, because first of all, he'll be easy to telegraph because he's an egotist, and egotists that are paranoid and scared are very easy to predict. And then also the other thing is that, he'll have a lot of weaknesses. Trust me. So if there's any kind of strategic fight in any kind of way, he's going to lose, because he's just as bad as Adolf Hitler at strategy. And the ego and the paranoid dictator mind, that narcissist mind, is horrible for military leadership. Trust me. It's just the damn truth. So it'll be very interesting to see how that all shakes out over time. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going. James is saying Kawhi and his team demands are crazy. Does LeBron have part ownership for his Lakers contract? I don't know. I don't think so. Kareem saying, to be clear, who's more at fault, Kawhi or Ballmer? It's tough to say, because in some ways you could say this. Uncle Dennis was soliciting these kind of deals in Toronto before he went to the Clippers. So the catalyst of the problem is Uncle Dennis. I think Uncle Dennis is the most to blame. He's representing Kawhi, and maybe he's giving Kawhi's wishes, but he was the one pushing for it, and he was the kind of the aggressive one about it. And he was always that way. It's come out more and more since this happened that he's always been the aggressive kind of like wheeler and dealer in Kawhi's silence. And in some ways, he's leveraged Kawhi's ability for all kinds of different things. So it's really kind of Uncle Dennis's fault. Like, he was already doing it to Toronto before they even went to the table with the Clippers. So in some ways, it's Toronto people said, no, we won't do this. This is illegal. Steve, this is illegal, Dennis. We will not do this. But he went to the Clippers, and Steve Ballmer is crazy and kind of crazy. He's, oh, of course I'll do this. I don't really think about the repercussions. That's probably what it is right there. It's maybe not even that Steve Ballmer set out to do it. It's just he's an easygoing guy. And he's like, well, these are your demands, Uncle Dennis. I want you to be happy. We're going to do this. That could be it. I'll bet you it's Dennis's fault. Almost all of it is Dennis's fault. And Steve Ballmer is guilty by doing it and initiating it when the Raptors said no. The Raptors said, no, we won't do it. But Steve Ballmer and the Clippers said they would. So they're guilty at that point. But Dennis is probably the initiator. I'm going to say this right now. Dennis is probably the initiator in representation of Kawhi. In representation of Kawhi. That's right. That's right. Guardian Transit's here. Good morning to Guardian Transit. Good to see you back in the chat today. It's all okay. I like it. Short note. I hope the Clippers and Kawhi get clipped well. Would like to see Raptors get compensation. Sadly, this incident has nothing to do with us. You know, a lot of people don't realize that they actually got punished already for colluding on the tampering. Yeah, they did. They fined Doc Rivers personally $50,000 for tampering with Kawhi while he was a Raptor. And then they fined the Clippers organization another $50,000 also for it. So they looked at whether that tampering happened in our championship season. They found it and they punished them for it. The book is closed on that. All of this controversy stems from a new contract that he signed in 2021. So we have nothing to do with this. So Raptors fans got to stop thinking that we're owed something in this Kawhi situation right now, because we have nothing to do with this. This is all shit that happened afterwards, just so you know, Guardian Transit. So there's not going to be any kind of compensation for the Raptors because the Clippers have already been punished for what they did with Kawhi. They have. They were on the down low. They didn't really broadcast it. They were fined $100,000 total for breaking the rules and engaging with Kawhi while he was still a Raptor. They were. That's right. The Toronto Maple Leafs fans saying, come on, the Leafs are Canada. No, they're not. And in fact, a lot of people hate the Leafs across this country. I think the Habs fans would like to talk real quick. Would like to talk to you real quick. I think that Vancouver fans and Edmonton and Calgary fans and, you know, people that live in the prairies that think that Canada is not just Toronto would have to like to say this something to you here also. In some ways, the Maple Leafs are the epitome of what's bad about Canada, about Toronto being arrogant in the country of Canada. You guys symbolize this bullshit more that, oh, Toronto's so elitist and the whole realm of Canada. They think they're better than us. They think Toronto's so much better. It's the Leaf fans that carry this flag and this bullshit. And it's epitomized by the statements by troll Maple Leaf fan right there. Come on, the Leafs are Canada. No, they're not. No, they're not. Habs. No. Oilers. Hello. Yeah. Jets. Hello. Leafs are not Canada. In fact, they're not even totally Ontario. Ottawa's got their chunk. So you can't say this. The Raptors are Canada, though. We can say that. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. That's right. Fiercely saying if Kawhi was that shady, why would Masai have him at his recent Giants of Africa event? I don't know. I think that that's totally separate and independent. And Masai may not have known that this was going to blow up like within a month after this. I don't know. I don't know why this is like this. Seriously. Either way, I don't see Masai getting implicated in anything by this. He's clean. What does have anything to do with it? This was a good thing what Kawhi did. He actually came and appeared and did work for Giants of Africa. So this is a good thing. I just don't see this. I just don't see this fiercely. TML fans saying, no disrespect, the Argos are Raptors, but we are more important. That's just the facts. You know, historically, maybe, yeah, but not anymore. This has changed in the last 5 years since the Raptors won the championship. This is not true anymore. You could have said this 10 years ago and I would have agreed with you, but not now. Not now. Not at this point. It's just different. We're a global brand. The Leafs are not as global as we are. We are more international. We have more followers. We have a higher valuation for our team. Our team is worth twice your team almost. Seriously. Our team is worth like $3 billion. Your team is worth 1 billion, 1.5 or something. So don't give me this crap. It's like they're not more important because we derive more money than you guys do. We do. The Raptors derive more money economically. They drive more money to be exchanged than the Leafs. And that's just the damn truth. That wasn't totally true until the championship. The championship changed things and the brand of the Raptors skyrocketed. And even in 5 years of confusion and weird ass shit, the Raptors brand has stayed strong, even sailing through that. But in some ways, I'm scared that it's going to start going down now. And that may be part of the plan, troll Maple Leaf fan, is the Raptors are too big. And in some ways, they got to hurt them from the inside by Rodgers being in charge to water them down with their bullshit. That's it right there. That's right. Fiercely saying, TML fan, if the Leafs are Canadian, what are the Montreal Canadiens? Go Habs, go. There you go. Right there. Right there. Stand for Habs Nation. That's right. TML fans, I have been respectful all day, and now you're just insulting everyone. Racism? Come on. That's so few and so far between. You can't give examples. Yeah, I can. Seriously. Brandon Shanahan is an example right there.
Racist ass piece of shit. The president of the Maple Leafs, the former president, who's not there anymore. He came out afterwards, his racist ass. No, seriously, there's white supremacy interladen in hockey culture. And if you don't want to see that, you're not going to see it because you don't want to admit it. It's just the damn truth. At certain games, you're more likely to get monkey noises at you. And at hockey games, it's like that. This is racist ass motherfuckers playing hockey. And when a person of color tries to play hockey, they have to go through some bullshit. Let's just put it that way. All right. So don't give me this shit. It's part of hockey culture. So don't give me that shit. Kareem saying at Troll Maple Leafs fan, if the Leafs have the best fan base, then why are you here and not Leaf Freak? Woo! There you go, Kareem Thomas. I'm leaving, shaking my head. I hate being called Troll Maple Leaf fan when everything I have said is just the truth. See you next time. I hope you're nicer next time. There's not going to be a next time, man. I'm not going to waste my time with you. I spending 24 more minutes on my stream and I haven't eaten breakfast and you're gone, bro. I'm just kicking you out, man. So yeah, you're gone. I'm not going to waste any more time on you. So don't even try and come back. How about that? How about that? James saying this will be a cool trade. Jamar for Kawhi. It would be interesting. That would be a cool trade. I think it would be kind of full circle. It would be great for DeMar because he'd finally get to play in LA. That's really what he wants. He wants to play in LA. It doesn't matter if it's the Clippers or the Lakers. He just wants to play back home, and he should get that right. Honestly, he's been such a good citizen in the NBA for so long. And if the Lakers aren't going to do it, Clippers should. Clippers should. That's right. Seymour saying, wow, again, Rich Paul is Clutch Sports. Uncle Dennis has clutch money. Clutch money. Clutch your money. I like that. All right, I get it now, Seymour. I see what you're saying. Seymour Paper saying Rich Paul has Clutch Sports, but Uncle Dennis has Clutch your money. I had to read it right. I didn't understand it at first, but then I got it. That's really good, Seymour. That's a well-crafted joke right there, man. That's a well-crafted joke. I like it. All right, you're at 186. 186 for my man Seymour Pape holding it down in Alberta for us, man. That's awesome, man. Trevor saying Kawhi will be a convicted felon of the NBA, and Canada do not accept criminals in their country. Boom goes the dynamite. Trevor stuck around to talk in the stream today, and I love it, man. Trevor's funny right there. He's exactly right. If he's going to be a felon, that's why Trump shouldn't be able to come into Canada, y'all, because he is a convicted felon. The president of the United States is a convicted felon, and then technically, by the laws of our country, he shouldn't be allowed to set foot in our country, guys. Seriously. 135 for Trevor J. Got another dunk today. I love it. I love it. Seymour's got the popcorn. This is like a movie. Even Ben Simmons' agent is walking away from him. He's done. DOA. I heard that Ben Simmons turned down a minimum offer from the Knicks. Like he's all that. Like he's going to get anything more than that. You idiot. That's what I'm saying. These motherfuckers don't understand the world. Their bubble gets burst. You thought you were worth that money you sat around and earned on the last contract? Motherfucker, you ain't getting jack shit on this contract, Ben Simmons. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You Dire Straits, money for nothing, and your checks for free. You and Kawhi Leonard are the money for nothing crew. We got to install some bad jump shots. We got to sit on the bench and look pretty. We got to take this owner's money. We got to sit on the pine and never play. Booga, booga. We got that money for nothing and the checks for free. I ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your checks for free. Ben Simmons. That's right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. G's saying, I think we are being too harsh on TML fan. He really likes this channel. I think G is being sarcastic. I mean, I want to like you too, man, but I told you, just leave the Kawhi thing away. You're trolling, bro. And you're trying to act like you're not trolling by saying, I don't like that you call me a troll, but you're trolling. If you're being serious, man, we heard you. It's like I don't like people repeating the same shit over and over again on the channel. Come with something fresh. We heard you say something about Kawhi Leonard before. You said, oh, I want Kawhi back. We've heard you. You're on the record for this. We've heard you. We don't need to hear you do this every single time you come here and waste my damn time. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Jonte is banned for life too, just like TML fan from this channel. I'm sorry, bro. I tried to be cool with you, man, but in some ways, MLSC is doing this consolidation shit. You want to come in here and be like that? I'm sorry, TML fan. It's just not happening. That's just how it is. This is a Raptors channel. It's not a Toronto Maple Leafs channel. That's right. Is Ben bigger than Giddey? Is in Aussie land? Ben Simmons, is he more important in Australia than Josh Giddey? No. because Ben Simmons did not ever play for Australia team. Josh Giddey has been playing for a national team for Australia. And in some ways, he's more of a countryman. Ben Simmons lazy. Why are you going to show up and play for Australia? Has he ever played for Australia? I don't know. I haven't seen him do that. He may have, but I haven't seen him do it myself. I don't know. All right, we got there. All right, let's keep going. Let's go look at the chat. Not the chat, the tabs, and make sure there's not anything that I'm missing here. They're investigating Malik Beasley's gambling allegations, is what they're saying on ESPN. We did the WNBA. Let's go look at the. Oh man, I didn't even set up the Instagram stories. I was so behind. You know what? I think I might skip the Instagram. Although there may be somebody. Okay, it's Jacoby's dad's birthday. That's what's going on there. Slim Duck is, he's been really awesome on his way out with Canada and Toronto. He's really showing support for those kids. The Slim Duck Foundation. We love you, Chris. It's just really sad that you're going to be on the Celtics this year. There's Jacoby on the court working out. Very, very cool. I'd like to see that. And he is with his dad. Just happy birthday, Pops. True role model. Love you, man. That's on draft day. And there's another picture of him with his dad. You got to love the father-son love between the Walters. So, so beautiful. Jacoby and his dad. That's awesome. Savannah Hamilton's gone somewhere very water and blue skies. Very, very nice. Let's see what else she was talking about. She did a solo podcast. She's on vacation and WNBA's on the up. Savannah Hamilton's got the drinks and the life is good. Evan Gilliard is in Tokyo trying the cuisine. He's looking at the landscape and the skylines. So Evan Gilliard is there for G League United, but he is not a Raptors 905 anymore. I don't know why I'm covering him. Let's see. What else we got? Eugenio Maroy is celebrating Josh Giddey on his 4-year, $100 million contract with the Chicago Bulls. Very, very interesting there. Let me see. Is there anybody else I'm missing? Because I'm not doing this exactly the way I normally would do it. Let's see. Raptors official. What are they doing? Is there a bunch of bullshit? There's the first of its kind. Partnership includes merchandise and activation opportunities across the Buffalo Bills, Toronto Argonauts, Toronto Raptors, Toronto FC, and other MLSC properties. But you didn't mention the Leafs or the Blue Jays. So it sounds like you're going to be trying to put the Bills on those three teams and not on the Leafs and the Blue Jays. Why aren't you going to put the Bills like crazy on those other teams? Seriously. Why are you fucking promoting the Bills on the Argos? Seriously. It's such bullshit, man. I'm not going to want to see a Raptors hybrid Buffalo Bills jersey. If y'all have that in the pipeline coming down where you're doing a mashup of sports jerseys and you want to put a Bills Raptors jersey together, fuck that. Don't even start it. Don't even start that, please. Please. That stream started yesterday. It's so stupid, man. What are you doing, MLSC? There's Vince coming out with the football on Raptors official admin. Promote football as an owner of the Bills. My God, what the hell is this? Butter shoes, SGA. That's all I got to say right there. Butter shoes. That's right. Go get your butter shoes. Let's see. What else do I got on the Instagram? I need to go to the end of the Instagram and see all the ones I already watched from yesterday. My gosh, I was not organized this morning. I got up late, guys. I apologize for that. Emmanuel Quickly had a nice photo yesterday. Archive.quit is his other Instagram account. Check it out. He's got documentation of the summer, the workouts, the time outside, the getting buffness. Emmanuel Quickly's getting bigger and stronger, and he's going to be a badass this year. I love it. Let's go, Emmanuel. Let's go. Norman Powell's got some Jamaican boxing gloves, it looks like. He's been doing some boxing to train for the season right now. Jonathan Mobo is being posted by the Gem Hoops. That's Brian Macon's company. He's been at the Gem working out in his Toronto Raptors basketball shirt. Good in that work, Jonathan Mobo. That's right. Get in that work. That's right. Who else? Jamal Shed has got these guys dancing around on 2K. They're like doing a thing like that. I don't know. How did you feel about yesterday and sitting there? I know you're a football guy. You like football too. So it must have been interesting to see Doug Flutie and Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Maybe you guys got a little bit of time talking with them, Oshai and Elijah and Chucky, talking to the Raptors legends that were at BMO Field yesterday. Hopefully you guys got something from this and that it wasn't just a waste of time to parade your asses out there just to be there and have you guys there. I don't let them disrespect the Raptors brand by putting y'all in situations you don't want to be in. If they call you and ask you, do you want to go do this? You can say no, like Scotty did. Because Scotty's like, fuck that. That's the Bills. I'm a Ravens fan. Fuck that shit. No, we ain't doing that. Brandon Ingram posted something yesterday too. He's got the Kemp tape, and it's Kemp dollars. He's going to get us to the top. and see what I control the vision. That's right. So check out the Kemp Dallas Kemp tape. That's what Ingram is putting on blast today. So there's your Instagram stories real quick. Raptors Reddit reactions. This is all the stuff we know about Kawhi. Paul George trade, extra $10 million in sponsorship. Income bluntly stated, we don't want to do anything. Partial ownership of the Toronto Maple Leafs and ownership stakes in other companies affiliated with MLSE. Those were the demands of Uncle Dennis and Kawhi Leonard. There's the Quactus guy on Raptors Reddit. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's goofy. There's a lot of Kawhi stuff here right now. And some of it is just kind of like goofy and stuff like that. Let's see what the Raptors fans are saying on Reddit about this Bills bullshit that happened yesterday. Uncle Dennis just asked for a part ownership of the Bills no more than 2 hours ago. That's kind of funny. Somebody's saying, if it's not called the Toronto Bills, I don't care. So we're reading the actual responses of people to this thing yesterday. MLSE, surefire way to piss off Canadian hockey fans in general and Leafs fans in particular. Raps fans also since the Masai firing. There you go. So Leaf fans are not happy with them either, apparently. This guy's saying, if it ain't Canadian, I ain't cheering for it. Expand and I'll watch your league. There you go. I want our own team, man. I know a lot of people in Southern Ontario grew up being Bills fans, but I didn't. Josh Allen is cool, though. This is just random comments on Reddit about what happened yesterday. Give us a team. What the fuck does Jacksonville need one? Toronto Twin Towers. So they sounds like some of these people actually want the team to be in Toronto. And that, yeah, it's crazy, man. So yeah, there's a lot of people on here standing for CFL and the Argos and saying, why the fuck did you even do this? Seriously, why did you even do this? Happy birthday to Roger Mason Jr. Roger Mason Jr. is 45 years old today. Former Raptor Roger Mason Jr. played for the Raptors in only 3 games, guys. Or wait, 23 games. 23 games he played. 3 games he started, averaged 4 points per game. And he played for the Raptors right near the end of his career. Or no, he was in the Raptors in 2003, 2004, just for a brief cup of coffee. And then he had to go overseas after that. So happy birthday to Roger Mason Jr., former Toronto Raptor right there. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, let me see. You guys filled it up a little bit more. Let me see what's going on here. Fiercely saying, my comment in reference to Masai was more in the sense that he has integrity and would not have Kawhi's presence taint his GOA initiative. Well, we got to remember what the order of this was, Fiercy. That shit was not out when Kawhi was in Africa with Masai. So Masai may have not even known this shit was happening at all. I mean, if he could tell the future and know that Kawhi is going to have a big controversy in a month from now, maybe he wouldn't have invited him. I don't know. I'm just saying, remember what the order of events was. Masai had Kawhi come there, and of course he wants him to come there and be a part of it because he's a big name and he'll help bring a spotlight on Giants of Africa. But he may not have known that Pablo Torre was going to blow the lid off this shit a month later, and this all happens. So these are separate incidents that have nothing to do with each other. You have to understand that, MJ. They have nothing to do with each other. Masai may have known that Kawhi and Uncle Dennis were shady on the down low because he dealt with them, but he may not have thought that this shit would blow up like this publicly. So, and I mean, we could Windhurst this shit. Kawhi Leonard goes and supports Masai Ujiri, who's just recently fired by Ed Rogers III for no good reason. Kawhi Leonard is going to help promote Basketball Africa League and Giants of Africa and people playing more basketball in Africa. Is Pablo Torre an agent used by certain forces out there to punish Kawhi for helping Masai afterwards? Is that what it is? Because that's more likely than what you're saying. Fiercy, is that they're retributing against Kawhi somehow, some way for being with Masai at Giants of Africa in some ways. I don't know. Maybe they're like, yeah, this is screw him. We'll make an example out of him or something. I don't know. That may be Windhursting too far in this conspiracy theory, but that is in the events in the order of them. That's the way it would look to me. Oh, you went over there. You're supporting Masai. Blow the lid off of him, Pablo Torre, and ruined Kawhi Leonard's career now. I mean, that's more likely than what you're saying, is what I just said. Shaq Lindsay saying, thank you. It's about time. TMLA got the boot. There you go. Shaq Lindsay likes it. Shaq Lindsay's been there before. He's gotten struck out before, but he's tenacious. He came back, and he's stronger than ever. That's a winner right there. They don't take failure as an answer. They come back stronger, and that's Shaq Lindsay right there. That's right. Trevor J saying, Uncle Dennis said, and Kawhi, please don't drop the soap. You think they're going to jail? No, they're not going to jail. I mean, they're not going to jail. That's hilarious, though. You think that? All right, classic card. And we can get out of here. It's going to be a 3-hour Lexathon. We did a detour. The Kawhi stuff is important. I feel very strongly about the press conference yesterday, and we did have to talk about that. We really did. Okay, guys, here we go. Be quick, be fast, be a full name answer. Because if you're not, I'm not going to include it. So full name answer. And if there is a junior or a senior, we've learned that is important. If there is a junior or senior. All right, full name answer, guys, right there. This one is actually a pretty good one right here. Look at this card. This is actually a cool card. Guys might want this card. Somebody might want to come get this card at the next Raptor Freak get together. If I bring the card, you might want it. Seriously. But yeah, who's that? Michael Jordan? No, that's not Michael Jordan, Fiercey. This guy may have been the closest to beating Michael Jordan in his era, though. That's right. You can't see it that well. Yeah, it's not a Bulls card. It's a Rockets card. And that kind of, yeah, it's hard to see the lettering. Yeah, this guy would rival Jordan in his era for sure. Some, they didn't get a lot of people saying that this guy was the best player in the league, but in some ways on the down low, he was. That's right. That's Akeem Olajuwon. Raptors Hall of Famer Akeem Olajuwon is the answer today, Fiercey. And he's wearing the goggles in this picture, which is kind of cool. Akeem with the sky goggles was a very interesting time because he had a scratched retina, and that's why he had to wear those sky goggles. Somebody scratched him in the eye, and Akeem had to wear those. This is an easy card, though, so I'm not going to give you a huge amount of points. Akeem Olajuwon is a 50-point card. It's too easy. But yeah, it's the great Olajuwon. Raptor connection on that one. Fiercey's getting the card today. 50 points to Fiercey. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, guys. I guess I'll wrap it up. So back to the subjects at hand. Whatever that bullshit was at the BMO field, well, are we going to see more of that kind of bullshit? Probably. And we'll just have to suss through all that kind of stuff. I would rather focus on Masai and what Masai is doing this week at Toronto International Film Festival. It's fantastic. Always happy to see Masai in the spotlight and on TV and getting media. And when he does, I'm going to bring it up on this channel every single time because in some ways, I'm never, ever going to let Ed Rogers III and Keith Pelly forget Masai Ujiri. I will not. In some ways, as a Raptors fan, as a passionate Raptors fan who knows the good things that are good for their team, Masai Ujiri was good for the team. And what they did to him was unjust and wrong. So I'm never going to let this go, Ed Rogers. I'm going to bring up Masai Ujiri as often as possible. And instead of your dumbass little Bills thing that you put on yesterday, I'm going to promote Masai and Origin, the Basketball Africa League story. That's right. Masai's vision we trust. That's right. Bobby, ride that wave. Like those waves you used to ride in Hawaii as a youth growing up in Hawaii. Ride that wave forever, Bobby. You stay on that surfboard and you ride that wave. And God forbid Keith Pelly and Ed Rogers ever knock you off that surfboard and stop the work of the legacy of Masai Ujiri. That's right. We will win sooner than later to honor him. That's right. We got to do this, Scott. Do this for Masai, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Yaka Pirtle, Brandon Ingram. Do it for Masai. Go get it for him. Go get it for him. You get it for us too, but go get it for him. For Masai Ujiri, man. Seriously, he wanted to win that second one. That man stole his moment. That security guard in Golden State, that piece of shit, Strickland. Fuck you, Mark Strickland, or whatever the fuck your name is, you piece of shit. 2-finger salute to you. Masai wants that new moment. And even if he won't be on the court this time, he'll be somewhere smiling when the Raptors get their second one of those Larry O'Briens that's sitting behind me right there. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. Bench Mob 2.0. Dap to you, Fiercey. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thursday Think Tank, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. YouTube, Raptors Freak. Out.